But we're gonna get there. But everyone sounds pretty good. You'll see me take the headphones on and off. That's just me.
We might have some visitors. Some president might show up.
Dead baseball.
Dead Harry
play-by-play.
Carey. Depending on how my voice does. So,
and if you have a headache,
and if it usually gives me a migraine by the end of the show. Don't mind this. I slept down here the other night. So
did you?
Ew. Where I am right now?
No, in the bedroom.
It's an actual
You
apartment.
have a bedroom down here? Wow.
Yeah, right through that door. There's a whole bedroom.
You would think you would rent it or something.
Why would I rent it?
Make money.
Man cave.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the bedroom? Just sleep?
No, well, I did. It was last Friday. What do you call it?
Is this where you bring her down?
My son's room is next door to our bedroom, so he can hear. So
wow.
It sucks.
That's why they stopped at 2 because there was a buffer room before
them.
You'll
one day you'll have kids and you'll have to get a bigger house and a third room that mommy and daddy going downstairs to exercise.
We should say this stuff. I think it's pretty fun.
Well, we kind of have a cold open.
Are we on right now?
Oh, I'm recording.
Yeah. So this is it. All right, we're live. Okay.
All right. So.
I thought you guys would be like, hello, this is who we are.
Oh, no, this is what we do. And then we have our opening, and then we're like, completely destroying that bit. But anyway, so welcome back to the Better Half Podcast, episode 42.
Oh, we up to 42 already?
42. Jackie Robinson's number.
Oh, there you go. Are we retiring after this number then?
No, God, I hope not.
All podcasts have to retire then?
All podcasts except ours.
Yeah. Or like that one baseball game I went to, I didn't realize on Jackie Robinson Day, everyone wore 42.
Somebody screwed up somewhere.
Like, how many 42s are batting today?
He's 40. Up that. 42. Hit by 42.
Except Jeter. Jeter was too much of a thick-headed. He always needed that number 2, Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I'm not a Yankee fan, so I respect Jeter. I just can't stand the Yankees.
I don't know anything about baseball.
But we have a very special guest, not a very special episode like we had 2 episodes ago. We have a very special guest tonight. My good friend, Brian Cutaia. Welcome.
Hello, how are you guys?
Welcome.
Obviously, you heard me earlier when we were talking about
all 7 seconds ago
having sex in the bedroom right next to us.
Yes. Well, I'm not. Well, we're not having sex in the bedroom.
We're not.
But no, I actually. What I was about to say was I actually slept down here last Friday night because Saturday morning no one got up. No one gets up except me. So I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to wake the whole house in the morning when I got up for work very early in the morning. So I.
Very considerate, you are.
That's what the bedroom's for, right?
No, the bedroom's for extracurriculars, and for guests.
Making whoopee.
Making a whoopee.
Where's the strangest place you've ever made whoopee?
In Frank Messina's
in the butt.
basement.
That was an actual question. She goes, where's
the
the
answer was in Frank Messina's basement.
No,
it was hysterical.
no.
It was weird. It's the 70s too.
In the, I was like 3.
You were like 13.
Stop that! I'm not that old. No, that was an actual.
It was on the Newlywed Game.
He said, "What's the weirdest place you've ever had sex?" And she's like,
"Ever made whoopee?" And she said,
"Oh yeah, in the butt."
In the butt. And the place he just lost.
He was
the
like,
host?
Eubanks, Bob
Eubanks. Yes.
But the best is the guy was like a military guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there was a different one where he says, "What's the strangest thing you've ever caught your husband doing, or whatever?" And it was like wearing my underwear, and he was like a military guy. So he's like, "Oh, the guys at the garage are gonna get me on this one."
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, she blew up his fucking spot. I was like, she got her ass handed to her back in the Impala on the way back.
There was a game show on a long time ago that it was basically like the Newlywed Game, but it was the guy, his wife, and his secretary.
Oh my god!
Who knew the guy?
No,
it was almost the same.
Why would any man agree to that?
Except for like the sex questions, it would be basically the same type of questions. See who knew the guy better, the wife.
How does he take his coffee?
Stuff like that. Yeah,
that's dangerous.
I forgot the name of the show, but it was on for a while, like in the late 70s.
Hot game show talk here on the Better Half.
Oh man,
I just came off of a game show episode.
One of the weirdest things Frank's ever actually said to me at one point. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
We'll cut it out if I don't like it. So
no, one time we were at
pen ready.
We were at a Christmas party, and me and my girlfriend were there at the time. Now my wife, and he just leaned over. He goes, "You gotta try like butt stuff." I'm like, "What?"
I said that.
Yeah, the butt plug and stuff. You were
I said this to you.
I believe you did.
You sure it was me? Was I drunk?
You could edit this out, Frank.
All right, that's
you
3 minutes and 47 seconds. We can get rid of that. Fucking and never invite Brian back to this basement.
Butt plug.
But
I believe it,
Plug.
but I don't know. It's,
Yeah,
I
Was,
could have
was
been
he requesting?
not requesting,
Was
but
he-
it was,
no, that was-
a suggestion.
That was my Freudian
of
slip.
a-
But for who? For who?
for me. For like he was like
Have her.
like do
Oh,
butt
okay.
stuff to me. Like, and
Alright.
I'm just like
I don't recall this, but I'm intrigued.
And I was like,
Steph?
I don't know. I don't know. He goes, trust me. He goes, and then he looked at me like shocked, like I've never done this. He goes, 1 out of 3 people have done it.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
And I'm just like,
Right, you
know,
sure I didn't want to fuck you?
You might have. I don't know. It was,
I mean, you're a good-looking guy. I'm not gonna lie.
I was a lot thinner then too.
So was I. No,
Yeah,
I wasn't.
no.
No, I was no. I'm probably thinner now.
Oh,
We're both
absolutely.
Italian. It would have, I don't know if that
This
makes
would
a
have been odd,
difference.
Little
but the dinner
sausage.
would have been amazing.
Dinner
At
before
the dinner. Oh, the dinner. Forget it. Dinner would have been great. Dessert would have been okay, and then after the after night. Oof.
Oh,
Oh,
watch out
man.
for that mint.
Sorry, Larry.
That's
You
not
know,
what it
No,
is.
it's as usual.
do you want to be involved in our butt stuff?
It's
You
always
can if you want.
Always the third wheel.
Larry, take your pants off.
I feel like I'm at the dentist office.
That was funny. Larry, you come out with some zingers every now and then.
I'm allowed one every 15. So
Okay.
Let me play the martyr again.
good.
This
What
is what
are you talking
I was
about?
listening to last week's episode, and
Of-
you were like Mr.
Which
Martyr,
podcast? Because I do a
Ours.
lot of them. Oh, okay.
the Better Half
Gotcha.
podcast.
Gotcha. Just checking.
You were like a martyr. Oh, what was me? What was me? Oh God.
For what?
Nobody buys me baseballs. Wah.
That was. Oh, by the way, where is my gift?
Oh, you're not getting it. We're giving it to Bradley.
So we have.
Is
one-
this
We're giving it to your
Valentine's Day
godson.
gift?
No, well, soon.
We're giving it to your godson.
Okay.
I've decided.
We have
It's buried upstairs. I'll
One,
get
one
it
of
to you.
our fans, our number one fan, she was a guest here one time, and she got Frank some gifts for Christmas.
As
Actually,
her
some of his
mailman,
baseball.
she gave
As her
she
mailman.
gave her mailman a Christmas tip. Since they're not allowed to give cash, she gave me gifts. 2 of them were signed baseballs.
Is this like the secretary in that game show? Is that what this is happening right now?
Maybe.
Am I the wife of the
and
secretary?
a signed hockey puck. They were part of my Christmas gift for delivering her mail every day. And Whiny McWhiny Pants over here decided for 2 episodes to complain that she didn't give him anything.
2 episodes. I think it equaled about 37 seconds
But
altogether.
she felt bad because she listens to the
Which
show.
I feel bad about now.
She felt bad, and she chased me down on my route and says, "This is for Larry." And I was like, "Nope, absolutely not." And she's like, "I'm not giving it to him." She's like, "You have to give it to him." I'm like, "No." I said, "I'm going to give it to his godson, who's an Island fan, because I know what it is."
Clearly. And I still don't know what it is. So, Brianne, feel free to message me so I know what my godson's getting.
She's going to yell at me for not giving it to you, but I don't care.
I mean, I would be a little sore too. Not gonna lie.
But
If you
it's-
came to our show,
But it
Our-
wasn't
it's
a
not your
gift for the
it's
show.
our show.
It was. I can't believe this is turning into a thing. It wasn't a gift for the show.
Poor
It was a
Brianne.
gift
She's
for
gonna be-
me.
she's
But
gonna be in
she
the
should-
corner.
Brian's
what did I
getting a
do?
gift now.
What did I do?
Brian has to get a gift now.
Brian, I'd like a gift. I've never met you, but I heard you.
You still have some cake left?
I heard you collect mail, and I want to be involved in this gift exchange.
She collects mail. That's funny. Well, speaking, it's actually a nice little segue we have here because with some of my Christmas gifts and tips, I like to buy some stuff for myself come January. So I've been making a decision whether or not to purchase a PlayStation 4.
Well, you already have one game, so you might as well.
Well, I won the game
All right.
in a basket,
poker bet.
in a raffle, but it was
butt
part of
stuffing
it.
So is there other? I have a PlayStation 4, but was there other options?
No,
on the
well,
table?
I have to get some podcasting equipment. My kids broke the Bluray player, so I have to get a new Bluray player. But
Okay.
those are like 60, 70 bucks.
See what you get to look forward to eventually?
Yeah.
If you have kids?
Yeah, for some reason or other, it only plays DVDs now. It doesn't play Blu-rays, just plays DVDs.
It's awkward.
Yeah, and the lid for the door fell
Yeah.
off. So,
Wow.
yeah, because my kids, suck. So,
Yeah, my Blu-ray player only plays like cassettes. Like it's weird. It doesn't make sense.
VHS?
VHS,
the making of Thriller.
like Amtrak.
He's got to come with a big. He's got to come with a big pencil and like
Oh,
rewind.
wow.
Be kind,
Old
rewind.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense.
I
It
only
fits
knew-
in the slot. I don't get it.
It's odd.
That's all right. When I was little, I put change into my parents' VCR, and boy, did I get
One
a
of those
whooping.
$800 VCRs
Yep,
back in the day.
way back when they first came out.
Top loader.
Forget about it. No, I think it was a front loader, so it was probably more money.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, those are more expensive.
I only knew of one video game, one movie rental place. What'd they call them?
Video stores.
Blockbuster?
Wow, yeah. That actually asked you not to rewind the tape.
Really?
Really?
Actually, Rippo worked there.
Be kind, don't rewind.
Basically, yeah.
Was
he had,
that,
like,
where did he work? Which one did he work
like
at?
around the corner from his house.
Okay.
And like he had like a bank of like 7 of those rewinders, automatic rewinders that they used to sell. I used to have one that looked like a toaster. I don't know.
It was
but
amazing.
why? But still, why wouldn't?
I think because they did have a tendency to snap after a while if you rewound them enough.
Oh, I
times.
guess,
So
and that must
they wanted to,
they must have slowed
yeah.
it down. They must slow it
I
down
don't know.
before the end.
Which is weird.
Interesting. I could just picture Ripper going.
Whenever you fast rewound it, you always heard it like you heard
it
like
stopped. Yeah.
it stopped abruptly. So you
yeah,
like
I guess it could
did
snap.
damage.
I guess.
Oh, no, they have. I've had them snap.
So, but getting back to the PS4,
Back to 2019.
Who even uses Blu-ray anymore? Like, don't you just
I
stream
don't.
everything or on demand everything?
I'm
Like
totally
Blu-ray
in the cloud.
Come on.
What do I have that you two don't have? Children. That's right. I have children. Children watch Blu-ray.
But you would think children would want whatever the newest media is.
Yeah, don't they just go on Netflix or something?
You think
or?
I'm going to tell them what the
Hulu?
newest media is?
Yeah, I was about to say, though, the only way they would know the new media is if their parents would clue them in on it. But the new media, they don't lose it. They can't break it. And they can watch it wherever they want.
Yes,
In their room.
And it's still we like to have the collection.
You're clearly faulting on this parenting thing. I think right now Larry is the better half, technically. As
right.
is this guy.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight on The Better Half. You could reach us on our email at thebetterhalf@gmail.
Larry, have you ever done anything like this to any form of kids? Like
Well, I don't have any.
Larry's not allowed within 500 yards of the schoolyard.
I would. I mean, I try like if I'm at my cousin's and I'm talking to, and my godson's 8, his brother's like 4 or 5 or 2, I don't know, and
4 or 5,
and
17.
he doesn't even know the age. You're gaining points here, Frank. Go, continue.
No, but
The meter swings back.
Like if I want to show him something, like I can just pull up. Like I bought for Christmas, I bought like the entire series of the 1990s Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Oh, nice,
like the old
nice.
school one. And so I pulled an episode up for the kids to watch because Lord knows they've never seen it before. They got that garbage new Ninja Turtles that's on Nickelodeon now. Like Raphael's in charge. That doesn't even make sense.
Terrible.
Yeah, that
Terrible.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
See, I did something.
But I can pull it up just like that. And I used to have a collection like Frank's. Now Frank has a nice collection of DVDs there on the side. I would say over 100, probably at least.
There's probably 150
No,
there.
there's
Alphabetical
DVDs,
order.
outrated DVDs, not even Blu-rays.
No, there's
These are
Blu-rays
just-
in there. There's Blu-rays in there. And plus,
Few.
there's a whole stack of Blu-rays on
Yeah.
top over there. Why? Well, hold on a second.
Oh.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. What happened? What happened?
My wife was down here today.
Oh no!
How could you tell?
Because those Blu-rays were in an order.
Which ones?
The Blu-rays on top of the big Batman box.
Oh, the
whole
one that you
series.
bought off of me?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Verdi.
Forgot about that.
Those were in an order of to be watched.
Uh-oh.
And I guarantee they're not. And they weren't even over there. They were in the corner because those video games over there for my
Yeah.
Sega Dreamcast, I
Yeah.
believe those were for, were not there. Those were over there.
Oh my
Now-
god!
So
someone's getting smacked when when I get upstairs.
That's going to be you if you even suggest
Yeah, I'm
moving
not
things
gonna,
around
I'm
again.
not going to say a word.
Smacking his wife too. Jesus.
No.
you definitely
No, I
the
said
better.
someone's going to get smacked.
I tried.
Probably the neighbor.
Smack my bitch up.
That's
Hope it works
that's
out.
unacceptable.
But I used to have like my collection was over probably 800 DVDs. Ton of I had a ton of them, and I converted 90% of them to digital.
Okay.
They're all in the cloud, so I have nothing to worry about. I don't have to. It's pure laziness.
Yeah.
Because I can sit on the couch and just go through movie after movie.
But you know
after
what
movie.
I could do? What you can't do? After the apocalypse and I have a generator, I could pop in a DVD or a Blu-ray and you can sit there and just stare at your wall.
Well, if I download the movie, if I know the apocalypse is coming, I'll start downloading the good stuff.
But you won't have electric to watch it. I'll have a generator.
I like how you guys are. If an apocalypse happens, the first thing that goes to your head is movies. Like
Well,
yeah.
I got to keep the time going.
I mean,
Well,
Pornhub can only last me so long.
you can download those flicks too, right?
I don't know why there's a share button on Pornhub.
I know. I don't get that either.
I mean, I know that joke's hacky and old, but I mean, really?
No, but it's true.
Why is there?
And like, you ever get panicking when you think you accidentally hit it?
No, really. Go on, Larry. Tell us more.
I have no problem sharing it, but my mother may be bothered.
Yeah,
by
your
that.
Instagram after dark. But what? I
Gotta
didn't know
stop
that.
with
I don't even know
gotta-
that existed.
I gotta stop those Bailey J videos.
There's nothing wrong with Bailey J.
No, nothing wrong whatsoever.
So you're talking about anal? I believe you said.
No, I thought it was-
What?
This is
This
is
devolved
almost-
quickly.
This is getting as good as when Frankie was on.
So well,
all right.
the whole
PlayStation
point,
4.
The
Yes.
PlayStation 4 was. I spoke to Larry, who's my electrical technician and advisor, and I was like, "What PS4 should I get?" And I was like, "I want to get the one with the terabyte
with the Terapatrick." Yeah.
Right, Terapatrick, nice.
Look how easily gets distracted.
1997 all over again. But then he's like, as I'm looking online because I was going to go get it today.
As he's about to give his credit card over at Best Buy.
Because I have a bunch of like gift cards and stuff that I've been holding on to just for this purchase. He's like, don't get the Pro.
PS4 Pro.
The PS4 Pro. And that's the one I was looking at.
Well, I suggest, because the PS4 Pro, it's like the higher end model, but it's really designed like if you have a 4K television.
Yes.
Which
because
I don't.
Yeah, it will output the games obviously in 4K, which look phenomenal.
Yes.
And at this point, I suggest everyone at some point should upgrade to
like
a 4K.
if I was upgrading my television, obviously my next television will be a 4K.
I mean,
it's
going to go 4K is going to be like how we went from standard to high def.
Correct.
Then high def to 4K. So, but if you don't have a 4K television, it's kind of a waste of money in all honesty.
Right.
So,
but I made sure, because when I got my place 2 years ago, I made sure I got a 4K TV. And then I got the PlayStation Pro.
Right.
But when I went to get the 4K TV, I was looking around at the store, and they do this trick to you where I got like the best of the best TV that I had to get. It was like expensive, because TVs you could get them relatively cheap now. You could get like a nice 4K TV for under $500.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
But I got like the Samsung Ultra HD Super.
I don't blame you.
The 9000 series, whatever, and it was like $1,500 still on Black Friday. And I'm just like, and what they do is when you're there, they have like football going on. And you see all the different shades and stuff, and then they have like the main one they're trying to, and it's just like water dropping,
waterfalls.
It's just like
it's a drone flying through the desert.
It's stuff that you'll never watch regularly, and were specifically designed.
And then you'll sit there, and like the guy comes over to you and hands you a tissue. You have a little drool coming out of your mouth. I remember I went to
PC. Be standing there watching raindrops for 12 hours.
I swear to God, though, whenever I have company, I go to YouTube and I search a 4K of just the nature, and I'm like, look how good this TV is.
Look at these clouds.
You see the sand, you see every little sand speck, and you see the chameleon with the eye, and you see all.
That's like the apps you can get like on your television, like on like on a Roku or something that have like you turn your television into like a fish tank.
Yeah.
Wait, I have Roku. I didn't know I could do that.
Please don't tap on the glass. I hate that.
I didn't know that's on. I could figure that out.
I have stuff like that. Yeah.
I gotta look. I've been working with my Roku. I've been playing with it more. So, but the point of what Larry and I were trying to make originally was he's like, you'll just go buy a 4K television. I'm like, oh, just go buy a 4K television. Let me just go do that. Larry has a bad day and goes, I'm buying a 4K TV.
That's exactly how I got my 4K TV. It was almost a year ago, last February, 2018. I had just, I can't say broken up because I don't want to give out too much information, but let's just say the woman who I was really interested in
got married.
No, that morning I met her boyfriend. So I was like, you know what? I'm done.
This wasn't Beth, right?
No, that's my mother.
Beth's his mom.
No, who's the person with the gifts, the postal gifts?
No.
Brian.
No,
Sorry,
Brian.
No. Okay.
So of course,
messed that joke up.
I was miserable.
It's all right.
I was so mad. I just immediately drove to Best Buy. I went in. I'm like, I want a 4K television, and I walked out
right this way, sir.
No, and it was the day of that terrible snowstorm.
Okay.
That we had last February. The one I think we ended up doing the March Babeness.
Yes.
And so I got the 4K TV. I got the PS4 Pro. I got a 4K Apple TV. I'm like, I need all of this. I need comfort.
Who needs to pay rent?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, 2 years, no interest financing, good to go. I made the mistake though, because I'm like, when they offer, we can take it out to the car for you. Don't worry about it. I got this. Giant 55-inch 4K television in the snow. You should have seen me lugging this thing by myself. Because now the pride is taking over. Because I can't go back in and be like, you know what? Can I get help?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you can't go back in. You can't go back in.
I could go back in.
So now I'm trying to jam this thing, literally jam it into my car. I forgot to put the seats down. So now I have to set this box in the slush, go put the seats down, add a whole bunch of stuff in the back of the Jeep anyway. So now it's on like a teeter-totter on the way out.
What's that? Wait, a teeter-totter? What the hell's a teeter-totter?
You know, like a...
Teeter-totter.
Yeah, like a teeter-totter.
No. That's not a word.
He's from down south. Don't worry about it.
No, he's not. He's from Garrettson Beach, Brooklyn. Teeter-totter.
So you know, I'm just... What'll doodle. So I just and I'm like slipping and sliding. I get home, and of course, like you've seen my apartment, I don't have room for 2 TVs, let alone 1 television.
You don't have room for half a TV.
So now I got this giant box in there. I got this other TV I got to get rid of. Oh, it was terrible, all because I felt like garbage.
See, that's what a single guy could do. Now, I want to buy a PS4, which I have the money for. I have the money put aside for. And if I wanted to, I actually have the money for a 4K television. But I also have a mortgage. I also have 2 car payments. My daughter's art school. My daughter's taking basketball. My son is doing baseball. So all this costs money. Oh, and wrestling. So,
Yes.
yeah. So that's where I could begin. So, yes, would I love a 4K television?
Yes,
Absolutely.
you would.
I know I would.
You've seen mine.
And I also would not see my family. But then again, last night, I was home alone for about 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
For 20 minutes, and the hockey game was on. So I'm in my living room on the nice 60-inch television. I'm watching a hockey game.
Naked?
And then, no, I was not naked. I was not naked.
Eating a big block of cheese.
No, off my chest. And the family comes in, and now the kids want to watch TV, and my wife's like, "You really watching this in here?" So I'm like, "No, I guess I'm not." So I went into the bedroom because I was tired from work, and I laid down. I watched a hockey game on my super duper 24-inch flat screen. Okay, and then after the first period of the game, I look out into the living room. My son is sitting there on his Switch, and my wife and daughter are nowhere to be found, and the TV's off. And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, my God.
So I go down. I'm like, "Get up!" And I'm like, "Where's everybody?" And we go, "Joey, where's mommy?" She's downstairs with Jules. So I go downstairs, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just cleaning up because she doesn't work from home anymore. So her desk, she was cleaning out her desk and everything, and she's like, I'm just cleaning." And I'm like, "You told me you guys watch." I was like, "I wanted to watch the hockey game, And of course, the Rangers won finally, and 6-2, and I get to watch it on a 24-inch. But here's the idiot that I am. I could have went into the living room and started watching it, but I was already comfortable in the one bed, so I was like, I'm not getting out of bed.
You give and take.
Yeah. What about this TV?
My wife and daughter were down here cleaning and moving, and obviously moving my DVDs and shit around. Now I have OC.
So she kicked you out of the living room, and instead of opting here first, she went there, and then she went down here, and you were just completely backwards with this.
Welcome to being married, Brian. You'll learn. Married and married with children, 2 different things.
Yeah.
2 different things.
Yeah, I'm in between you guys right
Married
now.
is good. Married is good because married without children is good because you guys, hey, you want to go to a movie? Yeah, let's go to a movie. Hey, you want ice cream? Hey, you want Cold Stone? Yeah. Hey, you want this? Hey, let's go away this weekend. Okay. Hey, you want to go out
File
to
the kitchen? Let's go.
Me. You want to go out to dinner? With the kids?
No.
No, well, can we get a sitter? No, let's take them. I don't want to take them. They're dicks in the restaurant.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah. It's kids are great. They're just
She's like, I think she wants like to start trying next year, or this year. It's January, like the end in the fall. I'm like,
can't
oh
wait.
my God.
I can't wait. It's gonna be good because then you slowly turn into me.
Yeah, I held off for quite a bit. I dated her 6 years, and now we're
wow.
married. We got married in August. And
But we have an whole interview for you though. So just
sorry.
We'll get to that.
Start
can
editing
you,
that out.
a PlayStation 4? You're gonna get it?
I am going to get it. I just need suggestions. Well, Larry and I are probably going to go together to buy it, so he knows I don't screw up the purchase.
Yeah,
and we're
I'll
probably going to
handle
get
it,
a game or 2.
It's like bringing someone to buy a car. I'm like, I got this.
Yeah,
So 12-year-old behind the counter. Let me ask you a question.
and Larry, I think, was with me when I bought my laptop and my Xbox.
I was with the laptop, yeah.
And I actually might go back to my if I can get my old gamer tag of Just Plain Frank.
Maybe.
I had a gamer tag on Xbox.
They expire after a while.
It was Just Plain Frank, because that's what they called me when I used to work in production. Long story short, I got stabbed, okay, in the chest. Stabbed many years ago. So they called me Frankie Slash, and it was annoying the hell out of me. So I said, how about just Plain Frank? Okay, because I was getting pissed. Hey, Slash, because I don't look like someone who should be called Slash, And they're like, so I'm like, how about just Plain? So they're like, all right, fine, JPF, Just Plain Frank. So that became my nickname for the next 3 years. So I got my Xbox. That was my gamer tag, and then for some reason or other, it's like they got rid of AOL or something, and I couldn't access the email, and I had to completely make a brand new gamer tag, and Just Plain Frank was not allowed because somebody had it, me. So I couldn't.
Yeah.
So I might do that.
get it back.
Although
That'd be cool.
I may just keep the one I have for both systems. So.
Yeah, well, you don't confuse yourself.
You got stabbed?
I told the story.
never heard about this?
Did I tell the story?
Yeah, this is because you don't know how to drive.
No,
Excuse me. Wait, is this the driving incident?
This was the driving incident, but this was the one where I actually wasn't the aggressor. So
There are two fields of thought on that one.
Twice you got stabbed?
No. I got stabbed. Well, I got
did
stabbed
sound like you got
once.
stabbed.
Yeah,
Right?
it did.
No. Well, I'm saying I know I had road rage when I was younger, but I'm not now.
Now you're fine.
Now, yeah.
Back then you were a maniac.
Well, I was a child. I was an idiot. I was dumb. I'll be the first to admit it. I was driving to work one day. Let me take you back to July 7th, 1997. Okay. I was just pitching for the New York Yankees. Sorry, that was Pee Wee Herman. Sorry. It was a night just like tonight.
I was wearing a number 42 jersey.
It was the sound of a garbage truck falling over the Empire State Building. No, I was driving to work actually on the Long Island Expressway. I had a 83 Camaro at the time, and it was on its last leg. It was dying. And I was just kind of saving money for a new car. And I had to pick up a piece of equipment in the city and then drive it to location. I worked in production in Oyster Bay. Okay? You know Oyster Bay.
Yeah.
So I'm on the LIE. I'm in stop-and-go traffic, and this Nissan is up my ass. It was like a 280ZX or whatever. One of those. It was like an older, 380ZX or whatever. And he's up my ass, and I'm like, where do you want me to go? There's nowhere to go, So I'm in the left lane. It's like literally it's morning rush hour traffic. I'm in stop and go. I get into the middle as he was trying to pass me as I tried to switch lanes. So he got into the middle lane and then he like kind of cut me off and he starts cursing me out next, like we're next to each other, cursing each other out. And I'm like, what, whatever. And then the guy's getting like aggressive and he's trying to like, push into me, and whatever. So then I go into the right lane and he gets in the middle lane. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. I'm like late for location. Like I got to get to work. So I'm not gonna say I was completely innocent in it. I said a few things. He said a few things, and now I get ahead of him. And every time I turn, he gets behind me. Every time I go into a lane, he gets behind me. So now, I don't know if you're familiar with exit 41, 106, 107.
Okay.
Over there. Yeah. It's one of those on ramps that's like almost a complete circle. You get on and you got to loop all the way around.
Loop.
So I'm in the middle lane. He's in the left lane. Okay. At the last possible minute, I cut it. I cut off the guy in the right lane. I go onto the off ramp, and I think, all right, there's no way he's from the left lane. I look in my rearview mirror. He's in the grass. He went like perpendicular to the LIE traffic, the LIE Long Island Expressway. So I see him like the dirt kick up, like he cut across and he went into the grass. Now he's following me. So now I'm heading towards down 107, like Brookville, like really rich neighborhood, and I'm heading to 106, and I'm like, I like blow a light. I'm zooming in and out, and I could hear the car. It's just like, please, no mas. This car is about to die. So I get to a red light on my way towards towards Oyster Bay. I don't remember the exact street. It was like Old Brookville Road or something over there, and keeping it local. And I see in my side view mirror, he's coming up the shoulder. He's flying up the shoulder. So I'm thinking in my head, he's going to just pull up next to me, curse me out, and that's going to be that. But what he does is he pulls in front of my car and he blocks me. So I got nowhere to go. So he gets out, and he's a short guy. He gets out. It happens so fast. He gets out, and he's got to be about, I'm 5'11", so he had to probably be about 5'7" or 5'8", short little Spanish guy. So now I get out of, I see he gets out, I get out of my car, because I didn't see the knife, because he had it down. But even if I did see the knife, if I would have rolled up my window was like one of those, I would have been stabbed in the face 20 times before my window got halfway up, and the last thing I also wanted to be was in a sitting position with him in a standing position, so I could clearly see that I'm bigger than him. So I'm like, I get out, I'm like, dude, get back in your car. And then he just charges me, and he gets me right here on the side of my chest. But thankfully he got me this way. He kind of just got the skin, because there's actually 2 holes. So the way he got me, and the guy said, he goes, lucky you're a big guy. The doc said, lucky you're a big guy, because if you were skinnier, he goes, he would have got you hot. So yeah, fat guys.
Wait a minute.
You want me to show it to you?
Did he? No, I've never seen your tits before.
So see it?
Oh, wow.
The scar
Wait,
there?
did he? was it a scraping?
No,
or did it
he
just
kind of
go
went.
in?
He went in, but as he did it, I turned. So he went in, and then the blade went in,
okay,
and then it went out.
Like the old Chris Angel trick when he puts all the meat hooks through his back.
He was
fat,
really
hang himself.
He was really trying to
Well,
kill
anyway,
you.
I was wearing
well,
like
we all wanted to at some point.
Yeah.
and I probably deserved it every single time. So I immediately I don't realize I get stabbed at first, but I see
the adrenaline going.
Well, I see the knife, and I thought I dodged it, but I kind of felt the tug, and I thought he just got my shirt, and then I fell on. I was walking behind my car, and I fell onto the hood. I remember this I fell onto the hood of the guy behind me. And I remember him honking his horn, like
off my
sorry, hood. Like get off. I'm. Then I kind of looked down because I was leaning back, and I looked down and I saw my shirt was turning red. Yeah. So I immediately your heart starts pumping, and I'm like, oh my god, I got stabbed in the heart. I'm bleeding out because my heart is pumping like crazy. I get to the side. I somehow make it to the passenger side of my car. Now, at this point, he puts the knife to my throat.
Oh,
I'm not even lying to you.
Right,
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to admit I begged for my life. I said, please. I said, dude, I lied. I said I had kids. I said, please. I said, dude, don't kill me. I got kids. He punches me across the face with the knife. He punches me.
Geez.
He's got the knife against my throat. With the other hand, punches me across the face. Okay, and again, this is back in the day when this was in '87. So my cell phone, my big giant clunky Zach Morris cell phone, was in the hatchback of my, because I'm only going to use it for emergencies. One of those things.
Who knew back then?
Who knew
Everyone
I needed it for an
talking and
emergency?
driving.
But it wasn't with me. It was in my backpack in the back of the car. So I had an old. If you lived in Brooklyn or any bad neighborhood growing up, you had a column lock for your car. Like it wrapped around the column.
Yeah.
It was this piece of steel, and you locked it with a padlock. So that was on the passenger seat of my car. So now I'm on the passenger seat of my car. Oh, then after he punches me, he gashes my front tire. So now I can't chase him.
Oh, now this guy's being a jerk.
Yeah. So he gets into his car. I literally grab the padlock. I reach in. I feel my hand on the padlock because I was kind of like, when I was in the car, one of my arms was like inside the window because it was summer. I didn't have air conditioning and both windows were open. Yeah. So I feel the padlock. I take it and I launch it as he's pulling away through his back windshield. Okay. With this, another car zooms off. Nobody got out of the car. And trust me, I wouldn't either. Okay. This other car zooms off. I find out later those were the guys. They were 4 workers from the town of Oyster Bay, like water department. Mm-hmm. They were just on their way to work, and I guess they carpooled. Yeah. They chased him.
Oh wow!
And they all called the cops, and they chased him until the cops got him. Now I'm on the floor of the sidewalk. I'm on the ground, like my back against the door, and I'm like, I get my phone. I call 911. I tell him I just got stabbed. Where I tell him, and then
sir, can you please calm down? Sir, please tell me where you are.
I can't help you if you don't tell me where you are. I'm like, I'm fucking stabbed.
I need you to calm down.
Where are you? I'm on the ground. Where on the ground? In a car. I'm like, So I'm literally with now. As the cops come, because I didn't realize other people called the cops. So I'm like, I call the cops. I hang up with the cops, and the cops are coming. Like, no, I'm like. Yeah, 911. I'm like, good job. Not realizing other people must have called. So then I was calling my mom. Big mistake.
Oh my God.
I call my mother, and I'm like, Ma? She's like, yeah. Now my mother, from that point on to every time I call her now, I'm 44 years old. I'll call her, what's up? She goes, what's wrong? That's the. So I'm like, you hear my voice, right? She's like, yeah. I go, good. I'm alive. I go, I just got stabbed. She goes, what? I go, I'm okay. I'm okay. The cop comes along. The cop comes, and he's like, he goes, he grabs my phone. It was a flip phone. He takes it out of my hand. And he hangs up. I go, oh, you're in trouble. I was like this. I go, that was my mom. He looks at me. He goes, are you fucking serious right now? I go. He literally rips my shirt open. He's like, he must have been an EMT also, because he had his gloves on, and he goes, I got to ask you this. He goes, are you? This is 97. He goes, you HIV positive? I go, not that I know of. I go, but that'll make my day worse. Like he actually started laughing. Okay, so he goes, okay. He goes, it doesn't look bad. It looks like it could be a flesh wound. He goes, but I'm not a doctor. So he goes, I already called. He goes, we got like 6 911 calls. So I go. my phone starts ringing. I'm like, that's my mom. I go, you better get that. I'm like this. So he picks up the phone. He's like, yeah, Mrs. Messina, he's okay, but the ambulance is coming. We're taking him here, blah, blah, blah. That's the last I hear. So at this point, one of my coworkers who just happened to be on his way to work sees my car because I had like a reddish orange Camaro. It was a very unique color. And he sees my car parked like leaning down. He goes, oh, he thought I got a flat and the cop was helping me. So he pulled over and he goes,
boy, was he wrong.
And he's like, Frankie, what's up? And he's like, holy shit, what's going on here? He's covered in blood. The ambulance pulls up as he pulls up. And I'm like, the lens is in the back seat of my car. I'm like, you got to get it to set. Boy, was I freaking determined. Huh? I had to get that. So I got that to set. I had no intention of telling this story tonight.
So a PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go play. Now I know why I love Grand Theft Auto so much.
Wow. That fucking turned. I'll be honest.
Wait,
hold on.
Here's the most uncomfortable part about the situation.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, yeah. Somehow or another, I don't know how my dad did this. Now, my dad lived upstate, 2 hours away. My dad got the phone number of the trauma room I was in.
There you go.
Like, he got a direct line. And like the phone rings and they're like, who is this? Who? Who's Frank Messina? And I'm like, that's me. He's like, your father's on the phone. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, hello. He's like, what up? I'm like, Dad, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm fine. I was like, I can't talk right now. I'm like, I'm okay. I love you. All is good. He's like, what up? I said, call mommy and tell her. So I barely see my mother. And then this is the most humiliating moment.
It doesn't stop.
No. This is the kicker. Nassau County.
Have HIV.
Nassau, yeah, yes. God, you ruined the story.
No.
No.
Wake up in the middle of the night.
Nassau County
Fucking
Medical
PTSD.
Center. It's a teaching hospital.
Uh-oh.
So here I am laying on a gurney, and big old Beulah comes in, and she's like, we got to get your pants and shirt off. And I'm like, with this, 12 of the hottest residents, now I'm single, 12 of the hottest residents are, coming in, and she cuts my shirt off, and they're like, here we have a, male 27 years old, or 23 years old, whatever, how old I was, 97, so I was 24 years old, white male, stab wound, fat, and then she goes to cut, she takes my belt off, and she goes to cut I go, whoa, I got stabbed in the chest. I got some serious shrinkage going on right now. I'm in no mood, right? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. And she starts clipping away my thing. And then I'm thinking, all right, I could deal. I got my underwear on, Oh no, clip. Those things come off. I literally take my hand, I just cover my junk, and I'm looking at the most beautiful Vote for Summer, beautiful, like Mean Girls, hot blonde resident who's probably going back to her husband right now. God, when I was a resident, there was this fat fuck that got stabbed and he was covering his junk. I always love to hear the other side of the story of people who I've, come in contact. And I sat there butt-ass naked, bleeding, as they, tried, working on me in the trauma center. And I'm like, what's up? I'm having a bad day. I'm like, I'm single, ladies. I was just like, I was ripping. I was like, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of here. But that was a rough day. Wow. That was a rough day. He did some time. He did 6 months.
Wow.
No, he did. I had an order protection, and then they couldn't find the knife. That was the problem. He ditched it. Like he threw it. He must have threw it out of. He threw it out of his car, but he must have had really good aim, and it went down a sewer or something because they couldn't. They searched up and down 107 from Brookville to Oyster Bay, and they could not find the knife at all.
That could have been attempted murder, I think. Right? That was.
Yeah. They said aggravated assault because they couldn't find the knife. If they found the knife, it would have been attempted murder. But he was taken care of in Nassau County.
There you go.
One of my friends was a guard. So
I knew the beginning of that story. I didn't know the rest of it, so now I feel bad making fun of him for all these years. So
no, you know what it was? I obviously that was karma getting back to me for all the times I was a dick in the car.
Okay.
And it took a few years for me to change my ways, but now. Now let's
you picked a hell of an episode to
well, Larry brought it up. So
brought it up. I think I mentioned it once.
Well, from one assault to another, Larry touched an Islander fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't say touch, but when I got on the train to the Islander game, I have partial season tickets to the Islanders. I have all the games out in Nassau, some games in Brooklyn. So the game last night from when we were recording was in Brooklyn. And I get on the train. I didn't realize it's one of the rare occasions that both the Islanders and the Rangers are home.
Oh, man.
So that wasn't fun to
Where
begin
did
with.
they played at Barclays?
They played at Barclays last night, yeah.
Okay.
So, getting to Jamaica was a bitch because just the fucking train was crowded with a ton of hockey fans. So, anyway, on the way home from the game, so now it's like 10 o'clock or so. The game ended just around 10 o'clock. I'm a hockey fan, but I've only been a hockey fan for the last couple of years. Like, I like the Islanders because they moved to Brooklyn, but I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore
Are
Islander
you
fan.
a bandwagoner? Did you
No,
jump?
I wouldn't say because I started rooting for them when they moved to Brooklyn because I was born and raised in Brooklyn. So I'm like, okay, I'll root for them. So now they're like my team, like the Whites. Like I'll root for the White Sox in baseball because I picked them to win the World
Yeah, you
Series.
finished that sentence. I'll root for the Whites, and I'm like, well, we know that already, Larry.
I like hockey. I root for the
I
Whites.
root for the Whites.
Why do you think?
I don't go to those basketball games.
Those Browns and Yellows can suck it.
Football,
Jesus.
forget about it.
Why I watch hockey? So like I root for the White Sox because I just picked them to win the World Series and they won that year. So I'm like, all right, I'll just root for the White Sox. Anyway, so I'm on my way home from the Islander game, and it's late. I'm almost because I take the train to Hicksville because I left from work. So I'm standing there, tired, couldn't find a seat or anything, and I just let it itch. So I scratch my head, and then I go to put my arm down, and I'm like, whack. So I'm like, I must have hit the pole or something. I turn around, and there was this fairly gorgeous Islander fan who I just, like, American Dream Dusty Rhodes elbowed.
And nobody knows what that means.
Right in the logo.
You hit her in the head?
Right in the logo of her beanie, right in the forehead.
Oh, man.
I mean, boom. I turn around, I'm like, oh, my God, I am so sorry. She goes, no, my fault. I put my head there.
Please tell me you got her phone number.
Well, it would be kind of tough because then, like, her 6'4" boyfriend comes over and he's like, what happened?
Was she crying?
No. It was an innocent, tap. Even though, like, with the ball of my elbow.
She's got a knot and a concussion and she's bleeding out of her eye socket.
Her head was in the way.
Her head was in the
And
way.
I'm kind of like I turned and I'm like, well, sir.
Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
I'm like, I am so sorry.
Larry's like, what were you thinking? I'm about to get my ass kicked.
I thought something was probably going to happen.
When was the last time you got into a fight?
I really was never in a fight. Why would I?
I'm going to beat the shit
So,
out of you.
so is this story leading to a fight?
Well, no. The problem is then we had like 3 minutes because then the train stopped in the middle of the track, because there's traffic up ahead.
Awkward.
So now I'm standing next to this woman with her big boyfriend after I assaulted her by accident, and I'm just thinking in my head, I can't believe I just did this, and she's the one that apologized.
Oh my God.
So either he's doing something to her because she immediately apologized.
Sorry.
But for like half a second,
No, honey, my head got in the way of his elbow.
Which I wanted to bring up to this. For half a second, I'm like, oh, this is like one of those weird things. Like you get rear-ended in an accident, and you turn out, that's
Would
how
you
we
look
met.
at this?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was saying that would have been a great story to tell your not kid someday.
Absolutely.
That
So
was kind of funny.
Well, you don't want kids.
I know.
I listen.
I didn't say I don't. I'm just. If it doesn't happen, it's not going to bother me. But I'm not going to actively try. Well,
Yeah.
at this point, ain't nothing happening. So, but
Nothing
You
but
could've
add
done-
it.
wanted to-
Nothing but add
You
it.
could adopt one of those nice white kids you like.
no, that's a lot
Just-
of money.
Just joking.
Yeah, the
I'm
white
joking.
kids. The white kids are more expensive.
Yeah, I heard. That's
From what I
racist.
heard.
That's racist. The Democrats should be on that.
We try not to talk politics.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't
No,
mean
it's
to.
okay. I mean, we try not to talk politics, but sometimes things happen. But I was going to ask, like, if you ever, like, were you ever in a situation where, like,
Keep the brown kids,
Uh-oh.
okay? We
Whoa,
don't
whoa,
want
wait a
brown
minute.
kids.
What? President Trump.
What's up?
What?
DT
Hello?
in the house.
What's going on, sir?
Larry, who's this?
Gonna have a bunch of Big Macs.
What?
You trying to do an impression of me?
This
Don't
is-
steal
this is
the bit,
President
okay?
Trump. He comes down here every so often, unannounced.
Mr. Trump, can I get on the mic?
Shut up, Frank.
Yeah.
It's my show now.
Let me ask
Who
you,
is this?
This is Brian.
Hello, Brian. Good-looking man you are. Did you meet my daughter, Ivanka?
Yeah, you're racist. This is Cortez.
What
I
the?
can't even-
Get
I
this
can't
guy
do a
out of
girl's
here.
voice. I know you don't want to talk about.
We're talking about brown babies.
No, we're not. No, we're not. I can't do a lot of editing.
Build the wall.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Wall's racist.
The wall's terrific.
The wall is so racist.
It's terrific.
It's keeping everybody. You're trying to keep everybody out. They're just trying to make a home for themselves.
Get this snowflake out of here. You're gonna melt, boy.
The wall is so ineffective. It's not going to be able to do anything. You don't even know what you're talking about. It's just expired visas. That's all these immigrants are.
They're bad hombres. Get them out of here.
Why
You're
you
next. Ooh, over the wall.
Go
You,
eat.
over the wall.
That's what I'm suggesting. A catapult system.
It's in the works. It's part of the $5 billion.
What's going on with your voice, sir? It's
There's nothing wrong with my voice. It's terrific.
He had too many McNuggets.
yeah. What was that? That was interesting. I gotta ask you. What was about like?
It's the government shutdown. The Democrats are killing us.
Is it?
They're
Okay.
killing us.
So that's why you went with the McDonald's and the Burger King, which is an odd choice because I never really had both in one day.
Well, there's no Arby's
You
in
haven't
D.C. There's no Arby's in D.C. They don't got the meat.
Did you see Congressman Peter King was upset?
Love
because
Pete King. Good guy.
There was
Love
no,
him. He's great.
There was no
great.
White Castle.
Murder burgers.
Really?
They make me shit. You should see the bathroom of Air Force One. I had them. Well,
I can only
my
imagine,
God.
sir. Sir, I can only
see, they
imagine.
make me sick. They make me want to throw up all over Putin
What-
and Pelosi and Schumer. Schumer looks like Frankenstein. Loser Schumer. That's what I
American
call him.
Gothic.
Loser Schumer. Pelosi. She's not Italian.
Okay, so this.
Dago.
Wow. Okay, sir.
Trump out. I gotta go.
You're gonna have to at this point. All righty.
Thank God, Jesus Christ! I hate when he
Ugh.
just push. It's not my fault. Every time he comes, the Secret Service just shut me up and put me in a
Wake
corner.
the kids up and everything. It's
Frank,
such
it's
a-
nice to have you back. You were in your they locked you in your sex room.
They do. Yeah.
My sex room. You should see. I'm actually going to get
With
a
Melania.
sex swing. Melania. Right? Do I say that
Melania.
right? Melania.
Melania.
Yeah. So
You gonna get a swing? Or you
No.
gonna go? Or you gonna become a swinger?
no, I'm going to sex swing.
Okay, that's what I just asked. Well, I
Yeah.
called it a swing.
Well, sex swing.
I feel
Can't
like
do
being,
it. I got to drop ceiling. It wouldn't work.
I feel like being a swinger is just a lot of effort.
A friend of somebody
Yeah.
we both know that when they bought their house, we were in his bedroom. He was looking at his brand new house. I'm like, oh, isn't it? I go, what the hell is that bolt for in the ceiling? He goes, the previous owner's house. He had a sex swing. I go, are you kidding me? He goes, well, what else could it be? There was just a giant bolt in the middle of the bedroom, like right next to the bed. It was the strangest thing, and all. I'm like, and I'm like, what the hell could that be besides a sex bolt, a sex swing bolt?
Jeez, who was
Yeah.
it? Mike Walsh.
No.
47. Okay.
So
So, all right. Let me let's. I kind of sometimes like to delve into history. So the two of you were in the same, or are in, excuse me. I'm not in a fraternity, and I get yelled at often.
by who?
You.
Why do I yell at you? I never yell at
No,
you.
no,
That
not
you're
because I would not. But
No, I yelled at you because you call it a frat.
I do, yes. So how the two of you met in were you in the same class?
Well,
or
I was
something like
raping
that?
him
That's what I
during
figured from the
And
pledging.
I was
beginning.
receiving it
Yeah, no,
unwillingly.
Brian and I met in 2012?
2011.
He got inducted into my fraternity, and I was actually there when he crossed over. They have our
Okay.
giant ceremony
Okay.
at the end. His was a unique situation. He was part of a fraternity that was in St. Joseph's College. They were a local. They became a national under our umbrella, but they remained with their history. So Brian and I become very good friends over the last 8 years.
Cool.
And he's just a good guy. I watched him pretty much grow up from a drunken 20-year-old to a drunken 30-year-old. So
awesome.
I know his wife, very nice woman, and we're just friends. Fraternity brothers, friends. Friends first.
I was a first year alumni. I was 22, 21, 22.
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
Okay, so about 8 years.
So we were around at St. Joe's for 15 years. We were looking at all these different fraternities because our school was pushing us to go national. We were a local fraternity that was just that school.
Okay.
So we became national, and we had to interview. So we interviewed Teak and all these other people, and we interviewed Alpha Phi Delta, kind of, and they were just and they said we could keep our history, our past, and all our rituals.
I
They
gotcha.
said we could.
It's
And
when a football team moves to another city.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can keep the history.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like when
so-
the Islanders finally move
Yeah.
out of Long Island to Seattle,
Yeah.
the Seattle Islanders.
So normally when you have like a pledge class. It's like younger kids, like
Mhm.
17, 18, you know, all trying to get. There's like 7 or 8 kids maybe, but the entire 15 years of so they were like 40-year-olds,
I got you.
30, and I was like one of the younger ones at the time.
We gave them it was unprecedented. We gave them the option of the alumni who wanted to. Some didn't want to cross, but those who wanted to come across and we could become brothers of Alpha Delta, or they had to take as a courtesy to the alumni, they took the oath.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
and it was really a marriage made in heaven, and things have been looking up since. And Long Island is now a powerhouse.
Yeah, and then,
And Brian is actually president of one of the organizations and slowly rising up the ranks. I'm very proud of him. So
yeah,
Good.
so it's
still a drunk, but other than that, he's
yeah. So now I'm married. Got married in August. Frank couldn't make it because he doesn't like me that much.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Now I'm I have a job. I have a
I
career.
do believe I actually had another wedding to go to.
Oh, that excuse? I use
Yeah.
that excuse.
Yeah, I know, but you did,
That's true.
and I did too. So
Yeah.
that's hurtful.
No, it was very hurtful for you not showing
I'm
up.
sorry, I couldn't make it.
There was just that one chair reserved for Frank Messina that was just there the
No,
whole time.
there wasn't a chair there.
You know what? Like, and I was thinking of like the table setting.
Here we
It's
go.
like,
Now that
I'm gonna have my. Frank's the main guy, and everybody around Frank.
Right?
And then Frank comes.
At his wedding, it's apparently about me.
Well,
So-
wherever you well,
Not
I
about
mean,
his wife,
You,
you know.
you tried stealing my girlfriend at a friend's wedding of mine.
did
So,
not.
So I
so
was-
he
it was-
has
Okay,
history of this at a wedding.
not your girlfriend.
So-
A, not your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. B, didn't know that. C, felt bad about it. D, she stood me up too. So
See, when the deacon goes, do you, Brian, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? I look to my left and I look in the audience, and Frank wasn't there, and I'm like, I guess.
just waiting for that. Like no.
no, he was. I was
Frank
supposed.
just burst in the door. You can do it. I'm here.
I was like this. I was. Instead,
Oh yeah.
Instead of Stella, what was the name from?
Blanche.
No, from The
I-
Graduate.
Uh,
Stella, not Stella. No, what the hell's her name?
That's a streetcar named
Yeah,
Desire.
Streetcar
Yeah.
Named Desire.
I have no idea what you're
The
talking about.
Graduate. No, it's
With
Mrs.
Dustin
Robinson.
Hoffman. Yeah, Mrs. Robinson.
Mrs. Robinson. No, it's not.
No.
it.
But I'd walk in, I'd go, Brian. But
Oh, well.
I'm sorry. Now you're making me feel
No,
bad.
it's okay. I'll just live with it.
He has a history of
No,
doing
it's-
this at weddings.
Were you
so
at my
don't worry.
wedding? No, so fuck off.
I didn't even know
I
you.
was gonna say, wait a
Okay.
minute.
Prepubescent.
Yeah, you were like 17, I think, when I got married.
BF before Frank.
Before Frank, yeah. Before
That's how
Frank,
all our
after
lives
Frank.
are.
Before 2011, I call it BF.
It's true. I have no problem with that.
And then around that time is when I found the butt plug thing. So it's like butt fuck before butt, whatever. It's
BPP. BBP.
yeah.
Frank, how many knuckles do you recommend on the first?
Well, you got to put your hand like this.
Oh.
So
Oh.
you
Oh.
get it in, and then you just.
I figured like you do it like a doctor.
Oh, no.
He's putting all his fingers for those of
Yeah,
you who are
it's
just listening.
like,
there.
like you would do like a puppet with your finger, and you
Hello.
just slowly
I'm going
Oh,
in.
God.
twist it in.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, that'll do it.
You know?
Oh,
Prison
God. Now I'm glad you weren't at my wedding.
Glad I wasn't at your honeymoon either. Anyway, shall we?
Why not? Let's
It's
delve
time-
right
let's delve into
to
the
no,
Brian
I'm gonna do
Cutaia
it.
portion
Okay.
of the
Gotta go.
Oh my goodness!
Brian Cutaia portion of the podcast. Brian, welcome to the guest list.
Oh hi!
We need sound effects.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so the guest list is. I know you've listened to every episode of the podcast, so you should know this. No answer. No answer is all the answer I need.
Fair enough. Don't worry.
So you guys
We're used to
talking about chairs at the last thing. I'm like, this is great. This is great.
Hey,
Can't get a good chair yet nowadays. The entire last episode, they're complaining about chairs for 20 minutes. Like, oh, I bought a chair, and there was something wrong with it, so I tried to return it, and I tried to get $50 for it. I was a $100 chair. They only gave me $20. I was still mad. I wanted more money
25.
for my chair. And then the other guys, and then Larry's chair broke, and I'm just like, oh my God.
well, thank you for joining us tonight on the Better Half podcast. Oh wait, I already used that
You already
joke.
used that joke.
Okay, well, the guest list, Brian, being a dick, is we ask you a series of questions, and you just have to give us an honest answer.
Nothing hard hitting. Don't worry about it.
Nothing, nothing embarrassing, nothing. Just some of them make you think,
So
But we
nervous.
keep a list of we keep a record of everyone's answers. So it's not like we're going to use this against you in a court of law.
Okay.
But it's fairly simple. Larry, I'll let Larry start.
I've never got stabbed. I have a PS4 Pro with the 1 terabyte. It's worth it just in case. If you get a 4K TV down the line,
right?
You got to get it. You
that's
got to
what
get
I
it.
said.
All right, now
That's finishing what you have.
All right, start
now
at question
I'm good.
4 then. No, don't be a dick.
Let's put 60 seconds on the clock. No. All right,
All
so
right.
here we go. Who is your favorite superhero?
I like Spider-Man.
Okay.
I like Spider-Man.
Seen the trailer?
Any reason why?
Yeah, I didn't actually. It was
Oh.
it popped up on my phone like today, and I didn't see it.
I didn't realize that the Spider-Man, the new animated one,
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah.
Yeah,
was all the Spider-Mans realize there's more than one Spider-Man, and they're like, what the fuck?
Basically, yeah.
That's kind of cool. It's a cool
Even
concept.
Spider-Ham is in it.
Spider-Ham's in it?
Spider-Ham, yeah.
and it's voiced by John Mulaney, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like John Mulaney.
Yeah.
He's a good comedian.
Yeah.
But he had such a terrible show.
But have
Well-
you seen Big Mouth? Big Mouth is hysterical.
That is
Wait,
stand-up?
that's him?
That's
It's a
John,
stand-
yeah,
Oh, I
stand-up?
didn't know he did. No, it's a cartoon.
yeah, it's a cartoon.
I didn't realize that was him.
John Mulaney is the main kid,
Oh, wow.
and then Nick Kroll's the
Okay.
It's so funny. It's
I'll
about
be over here when you...
just real
Yeah, no
quick.
problem.
It's a bunch of these middle school kids.
It is a new podcast I'm putting on the network.
It's a bunch of these middle school kids going through puberty, and whenever they get turned on or anything, this imaginary hormone monster appears. It's like, oh, you got to go jerk off right now. Go to the bathroom. You got to jerk. It's really
sounds- I'm
hysterical.
watching
sounds
this
actually pretty
now.
good. What is it? Big
Big
It's
Mouth?
called Big
Yeah.
Mouth on Netflix. It's
on Netflix.
hysterical. You
I
got to
gotta
watch
check
it.
that out.
There's another new show on Netflix, Larry. I know you watch everything. Something PD. It's another animated.
Oh, Paradise PD.
How is? Have you watched
Good
that?
Lord.
Is it good?
It's funny, but it's like so over the top,
Okay.
like uncensored.
Okay,
But it is
It's
very
too much.
funny.
You mean?
I watched the first
It-
episode, and it was.
It depends. You gotta.
I should have watched the second or third, but like
it grows on you.
I'm halfway.
I couldn't connect with the characters in the
Okay.
first
It's
episode.
very over the top. But what's her face? Elliot from Scrubs is in it.
Okay, all right. I'm halfway through F is for Family.
Oh, the new season, season 3.
Season 3. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Great show.
Yeah, it's very good. And The
Great
Ranch. You ever watch The Ranch? On
I didn't
Netflix?
watch the ranch.
I put that in my queue.
I've recommended that to everybody. I got my parents they binge watch it over Christmas. It's such an amazing. It's basically that '70s show on a dude ranch.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not a dude ranch, on a ranch. But I mean, it will make you laugh, and I will not lie. I will right here. I will man up and say it will make you cry. There are parts during that show that you just sit there weeping because it is so
This is a
good.
giant mirror.
Wow, jerk.
But one show before
Yeah.
the last show I'm going to say, and Frank knows I've talked about this show for the past two weeks like crazy. A show called Happy, and I saw it on Netflix.
I never watched it, but it was on
Christopher
Sci-Fi
Christopher
first.
It was
Maloney.
a sci-fi
Yeah.
channel. It's with Christopher
Maloney.
Maloney from SVU,
Yes.
Elliot Stabler guy. And he's this detective who's now like a deadbeat who doesn't give a he's a hitman.
disgraced detective.
Yeah.
He's a hitman. He doesn't give a shit about anything, whatever. And there's this little girl who's kidnapped, and her imaginary friend. She has an imaginary friend, and
Played by Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. And
just said.
at one point, he flatlines,
Fucking Echo.
and
You're an
he
idiot.
like dies for her, and then he comes back, and now he can see her imaginary friend.
Gotcha.
And they're trying to. So he's like this gritty, doesn't give a shit, and you see Patton Oswalt like, ah, like it's a great.
He's this
combo.
happy little unicorn.
It's like
Yeah.
a much
Played-
better Drop Dead Fred.
Much better. Yeah, it's dark and raunchy and
I
hysterical.
like that.
All right, continuing the
Sweet.
question. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Who was your celebrity crush as a kid?
Oof.
This is like our number one question. I don't know why we make it number 2.
Obviously, when you're young and you're like Britney Spears, was obviously one of the first, and then I liked Amy Smart for a while. It always stuck out for me. Amy
She was in
She was in
Road Trip.
Road Trip. Yeah.
and Butterfly Effect.
Great movie.
Did she get topless in Butterfly Effect?
She got top.
I know she got topless in Road Trip. So that's why. Yeah.
She was in Shameless for a little bit too as she got older.
So who's your
Final answer.
Current. I like.
No, not current.
when you were a kid?
When I was a kid,
Don't fuck this up.
Come on, Gelman.
I'd say it was between Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson in her heyday.
I love Jessica Simpson. I met
Jessica
her.
Simpson.
Yeah,
Game
Jessica
on.
So,
Simpson.
Going Jessica?
I mean, I'll go Jessica Simpson.
All right.
Jessica Simpson. All right.
I don't know what the hell happened.
I agree
with, her.
with
It was
that.
like she got stung by a group of bees.
Yeah.
Hey, a
Um,
couple of kids will do that to you.
What was the dumbest thing you've ever did for a crush?
I've done a lot of dumb things.
I know that's a rough one. If you want to come back to that,
Yeah,
we can
we
come
can-
back.
Yeah, come back to
Okay,
that.
no
Okay.
problem.
Can I answer? You know,
I was gonna go one more, and then you can go.
go right
Okay.
ahead.
What is your go-to pizza topping?
I like.
If you
I like
say
a bunch.
pineapple, you're leaving now.
Fuck you. Pineapple's is shit.
I was gonna say bacon. I like bacon.
Ooh.
Bacon's good, and I like pineapple too. I like pineapple and
I like this
pineapple ham or pineapple bacon.
Hawaiian slice, baby.
I never
Pineapple-
thought of bacon by itself on a pizza.
Bacon by itself
yeah.
on a pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I gotta try that.
Bacon by
yeah.
itself is awesome.
I actually had a couple slices for dinner today, and someone walked in and
You just had
ordered
bacon for dinner?
ordered a pineapple pizza, and I felt the urge to really say something, but then.
Well, was it
figured I'd
Dennis,
get
our good friend Dennis?
Or-
from
No, that's why I was going to call Dennis out on him. You son of
Or
a bitch.
do you know what's one of the best?
that place is in Belmore that he goes to,
Oh, is it?
where he got the
Oh, okay.
pineapple slice.
Yeah. Well, I
Thanks
still hate
to-
you for that, Dennis.
Thanks to Little Vincent's in Huntington and Lake Grove.
Little Vincent's.
Little Vincent's
We went there.
Cold cheese pizza.
cold cheese on top of
Absolutely.
pizza.
Do you
That's
wanna-
one of the best toppings.
Absolutely. Though I'm going to admit, when we went, Frank never had it before. So
I know I had it before when I used to make pizzas in my dad's
that
restaurant, but I
one.
never had that one.
Yes, we all know you had a restaurant growing up. So
Oh no, Frank's gonna stab Larry, have matching scars. It's gonna be.
aw, we bump him every now and again.
You just
It's like we're scissoring with our.
Clammy.
for those of you who are listening, Frank just picked up a pair of scissors.
Not even
And-
look. These are old school.
Yeah, those are.
Old,
These are old school.
Good lord.
Nana
shears.
scissors.
Yeah.
These things. Are,
That could circumcise
Everybody
somebody.
get your shears.
Eh.
I don't know what
Huntington.
that was.
Little Vincent's.
yes.
Little Vincent's. So cold cheese pizza. I had it once about 6 years ago because I was at the Paramount. The Blues Brothers were performing there. Fantastic. So then, fast forward last year, we were going to go see the Chip Chipperson podcast,
What's that?
which is basically almost our what would you call it, muse? No, that's the completely wrong word. Our
idol. One of our
yeah,
idols.
Sure. I guess Jim Norton. So
Okay.
doing the podcast, and
He does
so
his character.
I
Chip Chipperson.
told him for weeks, we're gonna go get this cold cheese pizza, Little Vincent's. It is phenomenal.
Meanwhile, there's this beautiful pizzeria right across the street from them, and I could see in the window they have like 30 different kinds of slices, and I love a good barbecue chicken slice or a buffalo chicken slice. We walk down the road to this fucking little dinky
Yes.
Mr. Vincent's or whatever, the Vincent's, and it's got like, we have pepperoni, plain, and cold.
I won't lie, I didn't realize they had like no variation.
Yeah, no variation.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was in it for the,
Experience.
but
So-
they don't only take cash. And
That's
I,
a
so
bummer. That
I,
bugs me. Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't carry a lot of cash on him. So
why? It's 2019.
You got to have at least like $100 for tips and stuff.
tips don't. Oh, he likes to tip on a credit card.
No,
Tip
no,
on
no,
the
no.
tipping on. You don't tip on the credit card. I mean, you can, if you
I
don't
do.
have anything, but
Yeah.
but like then they got to claim it and this and that. And
Well,
all the
it's
other stuff.
they should. So with the cold cheese pizza, I've been looking forward for like 5 years. So Frank, we go in, I'm like, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
You
But what
can't talk
happens
about
is the guy put the slice in for like 5 minutes longer than he should have.
Oh man!
So it came out too hot. And then he threw the cheese on top of it.
And
But
melted.
Frank also made the mistake of getting no, not a mistake, excuse me. He got a second slice, a regular slice. But he made the mistake of eating that one first. And didn't eat the cold cheese right away.
Because I was trying to savor it, and I
Well, not
realized
only that, one of those ones saved the roof of your mouth because it was
Yeah.
bubbling hot.
it was it was
got-
ridiculously hot.
Unfortunately, Frank's experience to it was not good. So I'm
By
hoping
the
to bring him
time I
back
got
one
to
day.
the second slice, it was just a slice with extra cheese.
Yeah.
Here's
so,
the
But it was still good. No, it was still good.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the tip. You could get cold cheese on the side. Ask for like a cup of cold cheese.
Well, now
And they put
yeah.
it in a cup, and then you can wait for it to cool, and then like sprinkle
See,
it on.
now we know. So
And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
No, like,
it only works when we're live.
yeah.
All right, Frank.
Okay, so I like the bacon and pineapple. Now that might be interesting.
Both of you guys can both
Yeah.
fuck yourselves with butt plugs.
What-
On the pineapple.
With the salt and the sweet, it's great.
What is your? Do you like pineapple?
Actually, I do like pineapple. Yes.
Okay, you like pizza.
I don't like hot pineapple.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
I think they like put it on after. Like it's not like hot.
Then I'm going to completely blow your mind because when I was on my honeymoon, we were in Spain at Barcelona, and the food there was shit because it's all straight. First of all, they eat dinner at like 10
Because
o'clock.
none of it is pre-processed. That's
They,
what we're all used
right,
to.
they eat dinner at like 10 o'clock at night
Oh, savages.
because they had the fiesta or the siesta. I'm sorry, the siesta where like they close from like 3 to 5.
Is Fiesta Mexico? And Siesta is... Okay.
Did somebody say
Oh,
Mexico?
No. Oh, sorry.
Get out! so everything closes from like 3 to 5. So you're just sitting there like you can't get anything, like so. And then the restaurants don't open again until about 7, 8 o'clock at night. So we went like last night there. We got Went to an Italian restaurant because there's like Swiss restaurants and Dutch. The food is very, very strange. We got a pizza. Somebody ordered next to me. Now they don't cut their pizza. It's one giant circle, and they kind of just give you like a fork and knife. They had a fried egg in the middle of it.
In the pizza?
In the middle of the pizza.
I've seen that.
I got one.
How was it?
I don't know how I feel.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And the key to it is you make the pizza, and like right before you take it out, like a minute before you take it out, you crack the egg on it and put it back in the oven.
Okay, I can see that.
Just right on the slice of
Right
pizza.
in the just right in the dead center of the pizza. So they cut it. You cut it, and then
okay.
it leaks out. Oh, man, it was so damn good. I didn't think I was going to like it, but they also give you a lot of flavored olive oil.
Okay.
So that kind of, you could throw that on top of it, too. So, all right, next question. Who would play you in a movie?
You have really good stumpers here.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Next question. Let me think about that one.
I'm gonna just
So
put
we
a
got to go
line
back
next
to
to
those
that.
two of them.
Okay, so this is a good one. You create a time machine and can only go back in time to retrieve one lost item. What would it be?
One lost item.
One lost item from your life.
I lost my Pokemon collection.
Ooh.
I had a
right.
Charizard and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And like I had a big binder.
You're
I
that
have no
nerd.
idea where it went. Like I don't really have anything too valuable that like I lost.
Well, not valuable, but even
It
like
can be valuable. It can be
sentimental
personal,
or-
sentimental. Like I had a pair of Ferrari sunglasses that I love that folded up.
Yeah. I had a transforming like a Transformers watch,
Yeah.
but when I lost it in the middle of the store, I also got my ass handed to me by my mother. So that's why I wish.
You also
really wish I
broke your
found it.
Ghostbusters playset
Ghostbusters.
after 3 days.
I did, yeah, for Christmas.
So
I keep learning more and more how hard they tried to find it. My uncle had to buy that in Florida and overnight it to them.
oh, you're just screwing people over
That
statewide.
was terrible.
So you're going to go with Pokemon collection?
Yeah, why not?
All right, no,
All right,
good.
that's decent. That's decent. Okay, what movie has everyone seen but you haven't?
This I had one yesterday and then I watched it. I
Doesn't
didn't
count.
See, what was that movie that I just so it doesn't count.
No, you could.
No, what is it? That's all right.
It was what's it, when they go into the cave they find the pirate ship.
The Goonies?
Goonie. I didn't see the Goonies until 2 days ago.
Get out.
2
Wait,
days
hold on.
ago.
Not only did he not see it, he couldn't remember the
I
name
forgot
of it.
the name of
Where they go
Goonies.
into the cave with the pirate ship.
And we both were like,
And then
Goonies?
in every movie I watch, like I always IMDb it and everything, and I didn't realize that was Josh Brolin was the older brother. Who's
Do
now
you realize
Thanos?
Yeah.
what I discovered yesterday when it was on TV? Goonies was on TV yesterday or 2 days ago.
You saw that on too?
Mike Walsh. His name is Mike Walsh.
Yeah. Wow.
He goes Mikey Walsh. We have a close friend who's also named Mike Walsh, who's going to be a future guest on our show, actually. He goes, at the end, he goes, throughout the whole show, they call him Mikey. But at the end, when he meets One-Eye Willie, he goes, hey, One-Eye Willie, I'm Mike Walsh. And my wife and I just spit out our drink. We're like, holy crap. So I sent it to him. So,
That's pretty funny.
all right, Goonies. Wow, Goonies. That's
I just saw it. So
No, that counts.
That counts.
We're a day late. So, what is your favorite TV catchphrase? And if you can do it the way they do it, that'll be good.
Favorite TV catchphrase?
You know, like we're talking about with us. You know. See, this is the thing. He's a little bit younger than us,
Yeah.
so
no.
That's all right.
the shows didn't have catchphrases as they.
There'll be something.
Jerry, like just bursting in the doors. Kramer, I don't know. I don't know. That I can't do that.
But Kramer kind of bursting
Kramer.
into the door.
When he burst into
okay,
the door.
all right, I'll allow
What do we
it.
write? What do we put for that though? Kramerisms.
Kramer entering the scene. Kramer entering the
and
apartment.
he just like
I guess that's a catchphrase. I give you a 5 on that one.
a catchphrase. You know, like what are you gonna? Hello, Newman. That's a shitty one.
Okay, next question. Larry, you want to answer the last one, and I'll answer the last one.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Well, I feel like you should ask the second one because that's more your question.
The last one?
No, the second to last.
Okay. If you were a car, what car would you be?
I really don't care about cars. So if I were a car, like, are you like physically like? Because are you asking me like?
If you transformed into an automobile,
Like if I were able to choose my automobile, obviously
No,
everybody
no,
would choose
no,
like a
if
Ferrari.
you were
like, but
if
if I
you-
were to classify myself as a car, You know, it's
Would you-
stereotyping cars. Obviously, I'm not Asian, so I wouldn't be like a Hyundai or anything like.
Okay,
or
so
a
you're an American
Mitsubishi.
car.
There we go.
I'm an
That-
American car.
That narrows it down.
I guess I'd be like I don't know, like
A Ford.
a Ford. What am I? Like I don't know, the Ford Focus or some shit. I don't know what the fuck I am.
Now we know you're gay because you picked the
No,
Ford
no.
Focus.
I would choose. I'll go Jeep Grand Cherokee or some shit like that.
That's
Okay.
what you have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jeep's good.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
Why
See,
not?
the reason I asked is because cars have faces, and I was just trying to picture your face on a car. So
Yeah, I guess you watched Owen Wilson too many times in that animated film.
I have kids. Okay,
All right.
I've watched Frozen 732 times in a row.
God bless you.
Did you
Just
see
to
the
hear-
Christmas special?
Just to hear again.
Did you see the Christmas one with Olaf? And trying to
No,
find Christmas?
because now my daughter, after all the shit I bought her, I don't like Frozen.
Yeah.
So don't worry. When you
Coco
have a
was
daughter,
good.
when you have a daughter, I'm giving you all her Frozen stuff.
Yeah,
I don't throw anything away.
All right. So finally, you're driving to Florida, and you can only listen to one song. What song is it?
one song.
One song.
I watched this movie like a month or two ago, and I like fell in love with it. And it might be I like musical movies, and I really liked The Greatest Showman with Hugh
wow.
Jackman.
Okay.
It was a very good movie. I like, and
Big fan of Moulin Rouge, are you?
no, not really. But it was just really cool, and what I did is I'm trying to get to know the song more. So like, because I did it at karaoke last week, and it actually like killed, and I'm just like, all right, maybe this is be my karaoke song. The Greatest Show, I'll put on.
Is that the name of the song?
That's the name of the song.
Okay,
Okay.
that's acceptable.
I like it. And that was
The guest list.
the guest list.
Okay.
Congratulations.
The Greatest Show.
Sweet.
Yeah, my wife watched that movie, The Greatest Showman, with my daughter, and I was just like, yeah, I can't be
I
bothered.
wanted
with
to
it.
see that.
It's good. It's really good.
No, the parts that I did see, I enjoyed, but I was like running around the house. It was like a Sunday, and I was just running around doing crap all over the house. So
It's pretty cool that it has the history, because it's about Barnum Bailey. It's about
Yeah.
starting up the circus, and starting from scratch, and like just nobody believed in him and this and that, and like he just had this idea of just bringing all these people together and just having a bearded lady. Like it's kind of weird, like think about it, but he just made everything
my
happen.
ex-girlfriend.
And it was pretty like because he was Wolverine, you know. And
Yeah.
he brings this masculinity to the musical, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I guess Zach Galifianakis maybe could play me in the movie.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
All
we
right,
forgot
cool.
about
Yeah,
those
forgot
two.
about that
Yeah.
one.
I
And
could,
then-
I could honestly, I could see that.
And
we
then-
watched Hangover again the other night. It was on TV.
I have my little
Such a great freaking movie.
my little Alan pop vinyl. It's one of the first 3 I ever bought with Baby Carlos.
And then
Not you, fat Jesus.
and then the
The
stupidest
dumbest thing you ever did for a crush.
dumbest thing was I got tricked one day in like I think I was in 9th grade, and I was like I didn't really talk to too many people like when I was younger, and I was kind of like antisocial, believe it or not, like as opposed to how I am now. I like blossomed in like college and the end of high school, and I just kept to myself. And this one guy said, "This girl likes you, and you have to ask her out by the end of the day." And I'd never even talked to her before, and I went up to her in the gymnasium. I'm like, "Will you go out with me?" And she just looked at me and like ran away, left and ran away.
Ooh.
And I was like, so that might have been one of the dumbest. Well, I don't really know if she was really considered a crush, but like she was one of the hottest girls in school. But I did it.
Something similar
I'll
that
call
happened. I told the story when the girl I was told. So very very similar. It was my freshman year of high school. Dana Riley was her name. One of the hottest girls in the school, and I forgot who it was, but one of the guys goes, "Yo, Frank, I mean, I crushed hard on this girl." She's like, "Yo, she likes you. You better go ask her out, you know, or you better do something." So I remember in Spanish class, and I sat next to her, and I go, "Oh God, this is so mortifying." I go, "Is this true?" I go, "Hey, I just heard. Is it true?" And then she's like, "What?" Like she looks at me. She's like, "What?" She goes, "Is it, I heard you like me?" And she just busted out laughing.
Oh my God.
I literally just I
Ouch.
grabbed my trapper keeper and I left. I was like, I walked right out of the class. I was like, oh, that was, and all I saw was the three idiots who told it to me in the back of the class, laughing their asses off at it. I was mortified. I didn't even. I don't think I spoke to her for the next 4 years of high school.
Oh man.
I was just like,
I
hey, remember that time you were an idiot? Yeah.
in I don't know, maybe like 7th grade or 6th grade, maybe even 8th grade. I remember I wrote a letter to my crush. I wrote this letter just saying that, after all these years, blah, 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 yeah, I like you and everything, would you like to go out or whatever? And again, I as a letter.
God, we were stupid.
I know. And I handed it to her, and she lived like a few blocks away. So I remember, because we always walked home anyway, just, get off the bus, whatever. Gave it a letter, started to walk off. I saw her open the letter, and then all of a sudden, I just saw her, like, bolt.
Oh
home.
man!
Almost like I don't know, like I don't know.
She killed herself.
Almost like you like see the letter kind of like float, or the envelope. I mean, it's kind of float in the wind
in slow motion in your mind.
Yeah. Nothing came about it. Nothing at all.
No, really,
nothing.
No,
so
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So
Did she ever bring it up to you?
Oh no, she brought it up and then was just like, it's nice, but I'm like, it's my fault. Sorry for asking.
But I'm gonna be gay, so. Don't worry about it. I'm good.
It was in the way, just like that woman's head on the subway. I was in the way. I just didn't mean to. It's my fault. Don't worry about it.
All I know is if I was with you,
it was like a whack.
If I was with
like
you,
my hand went back.
If I was with you, I would have laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
I would have. We would have ended up getting into a fight because I was laughing so hard.
It was just weird because, like I said, the train stopped, so there was just awkwardness because I was gonna kind of say something. Then when I turned and I saw the really big boyfriend, I was like, all right,
you in an island? You had an Island jersey?
No,
on?
I came straight from work, so unfortunately, I was in not a business suit, but I was business casual.
Business casual.
So yeah.
So you guys just getting into fights in your work attire, like Jesus.
No, I never. I don't. Well, this was before I was
Technically
a mailman.
work attire.
You think I went to work at the post office and I'm not angry?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm angry, but I don't keep it. I'm not at work. But all right. So a few more things. So now obviously you said you got married in August.
Yes.
You
weren't there.
Right. We've already established
Dropped
that.
you like a bad habit.
And you know what? Now I'm glad I wasn't there because now you hurt me. So you hurt me real deep.
You hurt me.
So how did you and your beautiful blushing bride meet?
I added her. I added her on
to my collection.
Yeah, all right. So this is actually a really funny story. I added her on my Facebook. This is how they compared to when you guys were younger. But I added her on Facebook, and
I call it the Facebook.
And I didn't really know who she was, and
Drop the.
I was seeing somebody, and she was seeing somebody, and I didn't even have any thought who she was. 2 years later, I get like an iPhone 4, and I download Instagram for the first time, and I follow all my Facebook friends, and she was one of them. And I didn't know who she was. She posted a picture of her in a bikini. So I liked it.
Wait a minute. I've been doing this for like 5 years. How have I not met anyone?
Yeah.
And I've actually lost a lot of
Sorry,
people.
what is she? What's her name on Instagram? Did you say?
Nina.
How's about it?
So I liked one of her pictures. She liked like two of mine. I liked another one of hers. She went back and forth, and then I messaged her on Facebook, and I said, "Oh, do you want to go grab something to eat?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "Oh, why don't we go to Applebee's tomorrow?" Because I was broken and everything. And she said, "Okay." I'm like, "All right, I'll pick you up." And I was like, and she said, "Okay." And in my head, I'm like, I don't even know who this woman is. She's letting me pick her up. Like, Jesus. Like, and I realized she worked at a Stop and Shop, and I happened to be passing by. And I was so broke at this time. I went into the Stop and Shop to say hi, and I saw her like working on the register. And I wanted to say hi to her.
Often.
And I needed to buy something. To go online. I'm not just going to go online. So I'm walking around the aisles trying to find the cheapest thing I could find. And I found a can of Arizona. And I went in my car, and I'm digging out change, and I go up to her register, and she's like, has the smock on, her hair's back, and I have an Arizona can. And I just pay in change. And I'm like, "Oh, I'll see you later on tonight." And she's like, "Okay." And I walked out, and I'm just like, this isn't even happening tonight. This is...
He paid in change.
So then...
all of a sudden, I got to do my hair.
And believe it or not, in between that and the date at the end of the night, I had a job interview.
Oh, wow. What a hell of a day.
Yeah, and I'm still working at that job to this day.
Okay.
And that night I went to Applebee's and we did 2 for $20, and I paid with a gift card.
Oh, all right.
I paid with a gift card.
Did she know you paid with a gift card?
Yes, I made
spender.
it. I made it known, and she still wanted to, go out with me. So I was like, okay, she's not in it for the money. So that's one of the biggest.
She's only in it for the gift card.
And since then we've
We
been
got 2 for $20, Mom.
Yeah, it's we started dating. That was right before Hurricane Sandy,
Oh.
right around there.
Well, what comes good comes bad. So.
And then we got married in August. So yeah, that was our story. We over 6 years.
Good.
Very good, very good. And I know you're a newlywed, and we are like our original concept was married guy versus single guy, but
Yeah.
We'd fight every week in an octagon.
yeah, pretty much. But and you're married. What August is? What is
6
8
months?
6 months?
19 months.
No, it's almost 6 months.
Niner?
Almost.
Is that a niner?
I think it's
concept?
6.
Modal.
August, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, it's 5 months, 5.5 months.
Okay.
Okay.
Has anything changed at all since you maybe were dating or now that you're married?
When you fight, what's different is that when you're before marriage and after marriage, there's an escape route, and you know it in the back of your head, and you could use it as a threat and this and that, but you can't do that now that you're married. That's the one thing I noticed. Like, you can't just go around throwing around the D word. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Like, over a stupid fight, but like, you get so mad sometimes where you'll just like before you'll be like, I'll fucking leave, but like then you can't do that now, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll go to the den.
yeah, that was like a
I'm
cope.
going downstairs.
Yeah, that was a cope a little bit. Like, now we're,
No, you make it. It's a valid point because my wife and I have gotten into a few fights, and that word has never really been tossed around. But it's like what's been tossed around has been.
I thought you meant dick.
No,
I know.
divorce.
I know now.
So
Okay.
it was
Yeah,
more like,
yeah.
hey,
I'm like, why would we have a problem calling each other?
it
dick?
was more
Yeah.
like, you don't like it? Call a fucking lawyer. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and like, or I can't live like that. I can't do something's out. And it's like, don't throw that shit in my face. Because my wife and I, she said to me when we first started dating, she's like, I feel everything could be worked out. She's like, the only thing that I think will be grounds for divorce or breaking up is, she's like, if you hit me or you cheat on me.
yeah.
So, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. No, no, I would never.
That's the same with us.
So is there anything else, any other issue that comes along can be talked out? And we've had some pretty big fights, but in the end, I mean, I'm not living with Larry, so things are working out good.
Thank God.
So for me, I played it safe. And statistics show different stuff sometimes, but I wanted to make sure I lived with her before I married.
Absolutely.
So and statistics actually when we were getting married, the deacon was like, "Oh, it's the opposite. If you live together, you're more likely to get divorced." I'm like, I don't even think that's real, but you Google it and it pops up. I don't believe it.
I don't now. Granted, this is all kind of hearsay on my part, but not that I don't believe in living together before marriage, but to me, I'm like, if you're living together, then at that point, marriage. No offense to the two of you, marriage is just a license because
Yes.
you're already living together. You're probably already starting to do like joint accounts. Not you guys, maybe, but people do. I don't know. I'm like that. Like kind of one of the big things of when you get married. And I know a lot of people do it to make sure you're compatible. But if you're in love, does it matter? You're already compatible. So and also to be fair, I also can't stand roommates. So that also would bother me tremendously.
Well, thank God we weren't officially roommates.
I mean, it's not him per se, just roommates in general.
I personally feel every couple should move in and live together because, and I'll tell you why. And I think it's and this is also was given advice from my wife's grandmother, who when she died, she was 97 years old.
There you go. God bless
So
her.
you're talking old school,
Yeah.
1920s, 1930s, when she was, courting or dating, whatever the rituals were back then. But that was right. But that was unheard of back then.
Yeah,
And she,
yeah.
we were already living together. And my wife's grandmother was like, "You two should move in together." She's like, I'm like, yeah, blessing,
Yeah.
How do you feel about condoms?
no, ew. So, the reason why, and Brian, you could probably relate to this, is you could date someone for years, but when you move in with them, you work out a lot of details, a lot of idiosyncrasies and bugs in your relationship that you would not know of until after you're married. Like my sister, when my sister got married, they got an apartment, but they didn't move in together until they were married. Like my brother-in-law moved into the apartment, and then my sister lived in my house until the day of the wedding.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that was 25 something years ago,
Yeah.
whatever it was. But I mean, I lived with Stephanie for about 2-3 years before we got married, and let me tell you, we worked out a lot of issues and a lot of bugs. You know, that really in the long run, by the time we got married, you know, you say, oh, it's just a license. It's not really just a license, but we took it to another level. I mean, my wife had a plan: marriage 1 year, house next year, boom, kid. Like she in her head, she was like, you know, so. You know, she had everything pretty much planned, unbeknownst to me. So, but I think you'll agree. I'm sure you and Nina worked out. Oh, if you don't want to put it
I will.
You worked out a lot of little things that like you would not experience if you were not living together. Like when you both come home from work, for instance, for me, when we first started living together, I was so used to coming home from work, I would throw my work bag down, take a shower, and then I would pop on the TV. And when you live with someone, you can't do that. I would, we'd have dinner, and then I would just get up from the dinner table and walk into my office, and start going through emails, and like I'm not helping out in the kitchen, and like that was a no-go. That was a no-fly zone. So we worked out things, and then like I would, not just me, but she learned to adjust to live with me, and I learned to adjust to live with her. And plus, now you're also sharing space.
I mean, I can kind of understand that because like my parents, like they never lived together before they got married. Obviously, that was like in the 70s. Yeah, in the 70s. So, and then I always hear the epic story of like I don't know, my dad came home one day probably drunk or something, and my mom ended up throwing all of his clothes out onto the front lawn, just every stitch of clothing he had, and he just kind of comes home like,
did you just do a Facebook post during our podcast?
No,
8 minutes ago.
What are you talking about? Oh. Well,
I just refreshed my page to check my old news and everything for the next segment, and it says Larry Mormon 8 minutes ago. First of all, I'm right here. You could have asked me.
Would you want to go?
Did you ask me? No.
DM me.
No.
What is the Facebook post? Read it out loud.
No. You don't like when I ask for things. Period.
It's very rude, Larry. I'm sitting right next to you.
I'm double.
You are making Facebook posts during our podcast.
God.
Would you do this at the Retro Gamers?
My
You
phone
can watch me do it.
is across the room charging. I don't have my phone in front of me at all because I'm like a civilized human being. Unlike you guys, I'm the millennial here, and
I have my laptop here because
you guys are posting.
No.
You guys are doing.
I have my laptop here because I have news articles that I have to read. This is part of the show. Larry's just making old Facebook posts, and of course, then I was checking out your wife's Instagram, because you mentioned bikini. Sorry, I'm kidding.
Listen, I've recorded over 240 podcasts in my lifetime. I can multitask.
Jeez, you guys are so
Maybe
hurtful,
over
right?
250.
It's hurtful.
So
I'm just,
no, that's all right. That's all right.
So for me, living together.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of
Continue.
can see where that's coming from because, like I said, my parents. I remember hearing just some wild stories of just them working out the bugs. I guess you.
I thought you were wild stories like key parties.
What? No,
Sorry,
no.
Beth. Sorry.
What?
Beth.
God, what is this? The Grinch?
Christmas of love. Christmas of
You
love.
are aware that in Jim Carrey's The Grinch, there's a key party happening. Do you know what a key party is?
It's when you Coke. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ooh,
Key party.
No, kilo. No, key.
No.
In the 70s, they had something called the key party. Everyone would put a bowl. The drivers, the men would put their car keys in a
Because
bowl.
only the men are allowed to drive.
Yes. Get in the kitchen, dame. And a woman would grab the car key
At the end of the night.
and that's who you went home with. So
What?
That's a key party. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was like for swingers. Obviously, I mean.
And this
we
is a
didn't do it.
family-friendly movie with Jim Carrey.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a lot. There's another scene where the babies get dropped off by the storks, and he goes, "It looks like your boss." You know, it's like there's some innuendos
yeah.
in that movie. So
so anyway, I get the part about working out the bugs and everything, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't see myself. I mean, I don't see myself getting married, but I just don't see myself.
Really?
I honestly don't. No, honestly, I don't. See, I like my individuality. Like, I come home, I don't have to deal with someone else. I can do whatever I want. I can watch whatever I want. I don't
So you're
I don't have
selfish.
to Oh, absolutely. Why do you think I don't want kids? I don't want them playing with my stuff.
kids are dicks.
That's money out of my pocket I don't want to deal with.
Wow.
Especially come college time.
I have a feeling you're going to meet someone like, and I know you're not even 40 yet, but
I'm staring down the barrel.
you're going to meet someone when you're like in your mid to late 40s, I think. And it's going to be someone who's going to be like, you two are going to you're going to be sitting there and like, you're going to actually elbow her in the head on the train or something.
Put a clothesline her and then give her, give her a jackhammer.
You're going to actually like, she's going to be walking into a Dunkin' Donuts. You're going to be walking out and you're going to smack each other in the head with the door. And then you're going to hear like, and you'll,
I'm sure. Look,
there's
I'm
an
not-
ass for every seat, Larry.
Oh,
and you're an ass.
Oh, I thought I had to
And
see
you'll
it.
find a seat. Yeah, I love you, Larry. You know that. Like your brother, I never wanted.
It's very. I've always mentioned this. It's selfish on my part because again,
Very.
I don't.
I was
Have,
kidding, but okay.
No, I know.
No,
But, like,
he's very selfish.
I don't have to
Yes.
worry about anyone else, and I can do whatever I want. I can do what
Okay.
I want.
But you don't date though.
No, I don't. But maybe this year I can because financially speaking, I'm getting things worked out so I can actually afford to go on a date. Because let's face facts,
Listen,
gentlemen. What was yours is no longer necessarily yours. That's including money. So
No, believe it or not, I still have my own money.
I meant like
But,
when you date and.
But if Brian could successfully get a date by scraping up 99 cents for an Arizona iced tea,
Yeah.
and now is married to the
Look,
girl,
if I was
and God
to
bless
date,
your wife. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Your wife, she's a sweetheart. She's an absolute sweetheart. You definitely stepped in it good there, my friend.
Thank you.
She's a sweet. I love her to death.
I was
So.
going to say, if likes on Instagram for bikini pictures is inkling of anything, I'd be on about 157 different dates. So I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. Do you use any of the apps, Tinder, all that stuff? Or
We've tried actually an
Well,
early episode.
you remember
we've done
in
Tinder.
episode
yeah.
3, right,
Oh,
Brian?
yeah, I remember that.
we
when
did a whole.
when you had chairs that worked?
We
Yeah.
actually did a few Tinder episodes. Yes, when we had chairs that work. Keep running that chair bit right into the ground.
Listen, whatever works. I like it.
We actually had it was pretty much a half an hour of us going, no. Yes.
No.
Ew! Oh my God! Look at her face. It was actually a funny episode. We
I don't know. I'll see. I don't rule it out. It's just as of right now, I'm not. I got a lot.
I want to do a live episode of you at speed dating. I'll pay for it.
I know it's.
I'll pay for
Oh,
it.
that'd be fun.
And I'll
Just,
just, and then
shoving a mic in her face.
No,
So what do you think?
it'll be like, remember in Willy Wonka with the mic? He goes. That's a visual joke. Sorry, people. Good pod.
It only works every 4 episodes.
You were just with Larry for a minute and a half. What do you think? Well, he was nice, but I don't know. He's talking about podcasts.
You suck.
I don't know. All he kept saying was he was going to WrestleMania. That's all he kept talking about.
WrestleMania. He has
I watch
2
wrestling when I was
TVs in
a
a
kid.
small apartment. It doesn't even fit.
God help him if I got him in my bedroom.
But for
Puts
me,
the lotion in the basket, or else it gets the hose again.
Got all those wrestling belts just circling the walls.
for me, living together was a bigger thing than because when we didn't just live together, we bought a place together.
Okay,
So that was a whole nother step
that's
too.
a commitment right there.
Yeah, we
It's not like you're buying a dog.
didn't want to rent, so we bought a condo, a small place.
I've been looking for a condo.
It's a nice 2-bedroom condo, but we
Moving
went through the
anytime
whole
soon now?
what? Yeah, I didn't. But we did the whole mortgage process, and then we lived together. And I know living together at first, like if we were married and that was the first thing, like any of our problems would have seemed exponentially greater just because of the marriage title
I
on
agree.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say for instance, one of the main things that I've noticed when we first lived together was that, like we said, I was in the fraternity. I lived at home, so when I lived it with my parents, I would go out a lot, and I have a lot of friends, so I'd go out a lot. And she came from a family of 3. I'm an only child.
Oh, me too.
She came from a family of 3. She had a dog and this and that, and like me and my parents sometimes don't see eye to eye, so I always went right in my room. she always like went downstairs in their den, had family time, this and that. So when we first lived together, I'd go out like maybe 2-3 times a week or something and hang out with friends, and she would just be home with like nothing.
Yeah.
And she went from a family to just being home watching TV. So she was getting lonely. So I got like a cat and this and that, trying to balance it out.
Okay.
And then we both had to grow with that. But like there wasn't too many problems. But I wanted to make sure that the wedding day was like just another day. Like really, it was a special day, but I didn't want it to change anything. I didn't want the wedding day to actually change our relationship. I wanted our relationship to change into the wedding day before the wedding day.
Gotcha.
That's how I looked at it.
It's interesting. I like
It's a
that.
very, very mature,
absolutely.
mature answer.
Well, you're bringing class to the show finally.
Yeah,
That's-
sorry.
no, that's all right. We don't want
I didn't
that. No, we don't want that at all.
Look, hey, we don't need that around here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we skipped the last.
You get your class and you get the hell out. You go to hell and you die. But and one other thing I wanted to talk about, if you want to talk about, Brian is also part of a very great organization.
It's called Project 9line.
Tell us about Project 9line.
I'm a board member to a nonprofit called Project 9line. We help veterans reintegrate through art, through forms of art. It's unique. It's based in Islip.
Okay.
And what we do is we pride ourselves. We're not doctors. We're not therapists. We don't we don't necessarily ask you like, oh, this is what you should do to feel better or this and that. It's just people go through all this stuff and they're trained to not show emotion. Like when you're in the military and you don't. And a lot of people just bottle things up, and nobody, like even being a man, you don't want to admit you have flaws. You don't want to admit there's something wrong with me. A lot of people just eat it, and they go on with their day. Here at Project 9line, what we do is we just offer different avenues to do something to look forward to, a different goal. And what we have is different forms of art, anything you could really think of, like mixed martial arts, or playing the guitar, or any instrument, or learning how to do stand-up comedy, or yoga, or learning how to write a book, how to put everything together. If it just like different avenues for you to just go to and be like, what, I always wanted to try something new. So you go home and you're not like sitting there going crazy. You're like, all right, well, I could do this to help my hobby that I now have, and that's what pretty much we do. And it's called Project 9line because when you're in war and somebody gets hurt, there's a casualty, another soldier has to call up for help, and it's called the 9line medvac, and they have to list the 9 specific facts in order to get that person the most help possible. It's called the 9line medvac, and we feel veterans at the home front need a 9line as well, so it's called Project 9line.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
we're based out of Islip, and it's a small nonprofit started from actually fraternity brothers, and it went from literally sitting in our friend's house around his kids and dog, trying to organize how to make it a 501c3 and this and that, and we finally got everything underway. And within a few short years, we now have a building in Islip, so it's pretty nice.
But what are some of the events that you guys put on? I know you have a comedy show.
Where we I actually do stand-up comedy here and there. I've been kind of putting it off now because I have other things in my life, and but I teach veterans how to do stand-up, and we have a comedy workshop coming up probably in the next few months where we teach veterans how to do stand-up comedy, and then at the end of like a 12-week course, they go and perform in front of a live audience, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you want to play the guitar at all, there's like workshops. Like just go to project9line.org. You can find anything you want there, and it's really cool.
One of the vets that he worked with was actually on Chip Chipperson's podcast.
Really?
Tugboat Manny.
Yeah.
He was like on like episode 3.
Oh, yes.
He did a phone call. He did a call in, and he was also on.
I do remember that.
I believe he was on Pinups.
Cool Cats and Comics?
I believe so. Yeah,
probably.
I remember seeing him there. Yeah. I think Dennis knows him.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
Tugboat Manny is a veteran, and he when he found out we were doing everything, we brought him in, and he became like a face for Project 9line, and he became like a headliner for most of our shows. And
cool.
he's very humble human being.
That's awesome. No,
And you mentioned you have a website,
project9line.org.
.org. Okay.
we'll put that in the description link. So
Yeah.
definitely go check that out.
You wrote that down.
I got it
.org?
right here. Yep.
Yeah, that definitely that's definitely
Project the number 9 line.
okay.
Yeah. Definitely a great organization. I've watched grow over the years, and you and Pat are doing a fantastic job. So obviously we're very patriotic here. Larry's father is a veteran. And maybe we get Butch to do some stand up. That would be. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, if he ever was interested.
Why'd the chicken cross the road?
It doesn't fucking matter. Fuck out of here with your faggy fucking chicken. I'll kill you.
Fucking laugh.
That's not funny. Butch is great. His father's a Vietnam vet. He's a hell of a guy. Just recently retired, as a matter of fact, right?
Right around when you got married.
Okay.
That's an interesting time.
August.
There you go.
Was
So
it the
comes full
4th?
circle.
Was it? Frank wasn't there either. Jeez.
Oh, geez,
Wow.
you're doubling down on this now. Like
Wasn't
I
at the
get now.
retirement party wasn't at the wedding.
Wasn't it the
You
one?
really, I mean, I felt bad about it that I couldn't make it there. I did. I mean, I called you personally. It's not like I didn't just write respond not coming. I called you.
Yep.
I said, fuck you, I'm not
All
coming.
right. You know what?
It's okay, Frank. I forgive you.
I'm over it.
Oh.
I'm over it. I don't care. I don't know.
You and your scars could, stay over there. It's cool. It's fun.
You know what?
Scars
Next time I
remind
get
me.
stabbed in the chest, I'm not calling you. So
You're gonna call your mommy? Sorry, Frank.
I don't care.
My,
I don't care.
I feel like I may have to edit that one. I don't know.
No, you can leave that in. Don't add anything. I'm gonna go check out.
Frank's
his
just
wife's
solemnly
bikini
looking.
pictures again.
He's just solemnly looking over to the right at his disorganized DVDs that his wife messed
God, it
up.
really bugs him. I can tell.
Yeah.
I bet you. I mean, I have not got diagnosed, but I bet if I went to
ADD.
no,
OCD.
I have OCD.
OCD.
I have OCD. Like those are alphabetized, and I watched my wife grab a stack of DVDs that she brought up for the kids to watch, and she just kind of just pushed them up, and just I was like the horror on my face. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, she goes, I go, "They're alphabetized." She goes, "Oh, fine," and she just takes them all out and stacks them on top. You do it, and I did.
See, I can never alphabetize a collection like that because then you buy a new movie, you spend a half hour
If you
moving
look at the
everything.
top row,
Yeah.
the numbers, ones with numbers are numerical order, and then it
I
starts.
believe it.
And then it starts A.
I believe it.
I
You
have
should leave
problems.
gaps to put the new. Like those are tight.
Or put like those sleeve things in, like A, B, C.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I might get that.
It's like a library. What is that? The Kodak
Dewey Decimal
Dewey
System.
Decimal System.
What's that?
The
Kids, there's still libraries.
The libraries.
My kids went to the library. There was over
You mean
the holidays.
Wikipedia?
They had a gingerbread. No, they had like in one of the rooms. They had like a gingerbread house
gingerbread
building,
library?
gingerbread house building thing
Ginger.
by a local baker out here donated the houses.
Candlestick maker?
And then we went into the actual library, and there's a whole row of iPads,
Oh, I
like for the
believe
kids. And I'm like,
believe it, yeah.
no.
I went
We're here
to-
for books.
Years ago, when they first built a library in my neighborhood back home, in the Boy Scouts, I had-
Library. Marvinberry.
listen to this. I had to go to a community meeting for a merit badge I was doing with the Boy Scouts. So I go, and the representatives.
Shocked he's a Boy Scout.
No, Eagle Scout. Did you go all the way?
Absolutely, I
Look at
am.
that.
I am. Thank you.
Figured that's why you didn't get laid. Sorry, no, didn't mean
Hold
to.
on.
I
If
just
you
have
want-
to take shots.
Larry, there's in the freezer. There's an ice pack if you want for that burn. So
I'm insulting both these hosts left and right here. I apologize. I don't even mean to.
it's Brian's first and last time on the show.
Definitely not
Brian's
getting.
new
No,
podcast.
Brian, actually, you're welcome again.
Absolutely. So
Hopefully, I'll get a gift from Bree.
we were getting.
Wow, she listens, by the way.
Yeah.
They had a meeting, and the representatives from the library showed up, and they go, we have some points to talk to the community about. First of all, please do not drop your children off at 8 a.m. and then pick them up at 5 p.m. We are not a babysitting service.
Do people actually did that?
Garrison Beach.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah. So they would just drop the kids off at the library, and then they go, we've actually, because it's built right behind the library was a creek, like literally right behind it, which over the years, one, maybe two bodies have been found. I know of one definitely. One definitely was because it floated under my friend's dock.
Oh,
If
wow.
you're not familiar, Garrettson Beach in Brooklyn is a very
Small.
small community, and the way the streets are set up, it's like there's
Used to
one road in, one road out.
Yeah, it
you
used to
know.
be old bungalows.
And if
And
you
then
didn't
people
live
lived
there,
permanently.
like they have their own fire department and everything, right? Like,
Well, volunteer,
well,
but yeah.
if you didn't live there, you shouldn't be
Wait,
there.
the fact they have now 3 more traffic lights on the avenue is amazing. But like my block,
Right, there was one traffic light, literally.
my
Speed.
my block, which is the width of 2 cars, but one set of cars are parked. Those used to be 2-way streets when my dad was little.
That's insanity.
Wow.
But I don't want to say it was a racist neighborhood, but it was
It
a
had
racist
its issues.
It had its issues. There was which oddly enough they shot Shaft there, which I think is hysterical.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
The
yeah.
movie Shaft,
Yeah,
but
the new one, yeah.
But there was a black family that bought a house,
Literally right around the corner from me. This happened.
and once the neighborhood found out the house got sold,
Here's the kicker to it. So they bought.
the house got burned down.
Oh no, it was vandalized. The windows were destroyed. Just horrible things spray painted on the house. And again, it was like 1 block over and to the left.
It was back into the left.
On the news, they interviewed the landlord, and the guy's who for some reason used an alias as my grandfather's name. So that was very weird.
Right.
Yeah. But it wasn't my grandfather.
So he probably knew
not
your
my
grandfather.
Oh no, my grandfather's known in the neighborhood. Absolutely. Yeah, the beach right across from my parents' house is named after him. I just want to mention it, but
Okay.
So he's talking about this is ridiculous. I can't believe this wonderful couple trying to buy this house. And,
Why would they want to
and,
move
and
to
all
the
of this,
beach?
with the words and the vandalism. It turned out it was that guy. It was the landlord.
Oh,
that
that I
destroyed
didn't
the
know.
house, and he was on the news saying, "I don't
So
know how this
he
happened.
probably went into
this happened."
How'd you find out?
He probably went into the Tamaqua bar, got his ass handed to him. Like, what are
Tamaqua?
you?
Wait a minute.
Whatever the hell, Takawana, whatever it's called, whatever that bar is. Tamaqua. I was close. I was close for someone who doesn't live there.
Tamaqua.
And probably, hey, I just rented my house out to two,
Yeah.
and then he probably got his ass handed to
It's
him.
like you sneeze in my neighborhood, and everyone says "God bless you." So news.
Put it this way: I'm white. I went to pick up a girl there, and almost got my ass handed to me. Like, why are you on this street with that big effing car? Because I had a 79 Delta 88, and I'm here to pick up somebody. I don't know you. You better
not
get
like
back in your car. I'm like, all right, see you later.
Not like that anymore.
Never picked her up.
Not like that
Wow.
anymore.
She might be still waiting.
Wow.
So
yeah.
What the hell were we talking about?
Talking about
Before we got on this,
beach thing. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
Old news.
Oh, your father. Yeah, I think it's time for some old news. You ready for some old news?
Okay.
Okay,
Some
old
old
news articles that I find on the internet that I don't read. And usually
can't.
they're relationship based, but I could not find a goddamn one this week. And Larry, and you can guess where it comes from.
It's a game that we play. I try and guess what state this
State?
usually horrific. Yeah,
Yeah.
the city's a little tough.
Okay.
But what state or country? Because
Yeah.
we've had some international.
And the reason why we call it old news is because by the time this airs, it's 2 weeks later. And
So this is current right now.
well,
for us.
current or a couple of months ago, whatever. But
Okay.
it's usually older. And it's not something that happened. One time, I think I got something that happened the week that we recorded,
Oh,
but
yeah, I
usually
remember
it's
that, yeah.
old news. So this one is called Fajita Heist. And I'll say blank to start off because I don't want to give away the town. Blank man sentenced to 50 years for stealing $1.2 million worth of fajitas.
Wow. I'm gonna guess. And usually the odds-on favorite is Florida, but I'm gonna go New Mexico on this one.
I was gonna go that, but I figured that would be a little racist because New Mexico. This is
new.
old Mexico.
Yeah.
Currently old news, right? It's right there. I'll go right next to it. I'll go Arizona then.
Okay.
Ooh, you both were very, very close.
Oh.
But a Texas man
Ooh.
was sentenced to 50 years for
Ooh,
stealing
it had to be on the
1.2.
border, somewhere on the border.
So
1.9 million.
1.2 million.
Two still.
Gilberto Escamilla
Wait a minute.
had
I should've
stolen
said Texas. What was I thinking?
more than 1.2 million worth of fajitas over the course of approximately 9 years. So he didn't steal them all in one shot, which would have been more impressive. So,
How much do you think a fajita goes for?
well, wait, I'll tell you what. A
okay.
Texas man who pled guilty to stealing more than 1.2 million in fajitas while acting as a public servant has been sentenced to 50 years in prison.
50.
50. Gilberto Escamilla, 53. So that's a death sentence. You got a death sentence.
A
Basically.
death sentence for fajitas.
Fajitas. That was about to be good fucking fajitas, let me tell you.
I mean, it's Texas.
I know.
True.
That's crazy. Like
Eye
if
for
that
an
was
eye.
New York, they'd be like, okay, you get a violation.
Build the wall.
He was 53 years old, was employed at the Darrell B. Hester Juvenile Detention Center
dear.
in San Benito, Texas, until August 2017, when it was discovered that he had been placing orders for fajitas using county funds and then selling them for his own profit since
my
December
God.
2008.
He's selling hot fajitas?
Black market fajitas.
Oh, man.
Wow.
According to the Cameron County court filings. When sentenced on Friday, Escamilla was also served with the maximum fine of $10,000 on top of the $1.2 million he was ordered to pay back for the cost of the fajitas.
So
How's he going to pay that back in prison?
Where's he going to get the 10 grand from?
He's not.
On top of the 1.2 million.
Jeez.
Well, they actually said $1,251,578.72. Okay, that according to the Brownsville Herald, Escamilla's scheme unraveled last August after a delivery driver, Tattletale, with Labatt Food Service phoned the detention center to give kitchen employees a heads up that an 800-pound delivery of fajitas had arrived.
I thought you were going to say an
800
800-pound man. Was he going to be?
Employees immediately thought the delivery to be suspicious, as minors at the detention center are not served fajitas.
Minor, I didn't even know her.
However, the delivery driver insisted that he had been delivering fajitas to the detention center's kitchen for the past 9 years.
Who's doing their books?
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I made a mistake one time when I was working in a bookstore in college, and we needed to order like a pallet of boxes to mail out the textbooks. I needed to order 25 boxes. I accidentally ordered 25 pallets.
Oh my God!
Like
Instead of
100 boxes each.
2.5 pallets. See, decimal
Yeah.
points are important, kids.
No, the truck showed up. I'm like, all right, how many we got coming down? He's like, no, this truck is yours. It's like a giant.
And now
like,
you
yellow,
wonder why you bought
like
your
yellow
godson
freight truck.
a tiny, tiny chair.
And
Hot
I'm like,
chair talk.
I'm like, can I reject this order? He's like, no, you got to take it.
You could reject it.
No, we couldn't. We had to because
Really?
we ordered it, and the whole back room was just filled with these boxes.
We'll use them
And-
eventually.
No, I told I called my the regional manager. I'm like, so I got something to tell you. If any of the stores in the country need boxes, just inter office the order to me.
We got boxes.
We'll get
We
them
got
out.
boxes.
Oh, it was terrible.
Wow. All
I was
right.
the only one that was laughing, but it was terrible.
Did you get rid of all the boxes?
Eventually, at some point, I think I left before we were done.
Wow.
So, after being fired and arrested, Escamilla's house was searched by police
Oh, no.
who found packages of the fajitas in his refrigerator. Quote, it was selfish. It started small and got bigger and out of control,
You can't help it. man.
Escamilla said during court
It's like-
testimony.
It's like you can't have one chip.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Exactly.
It got to the point where I couldn't control it anymore.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
Yeah. Texas State District Judge Manuel Banales,
Are we
who
sure it's
handed down
Texas?
the sentence. Huh?
Sure, it's Texas.
Well, yeah.
No one else is visiting us today, huh?
Build the wall.
Okay. Your voice is so hoarse.
I know. It's you know. He handed down the sentence, dismissed an additional theft charge as part of an earlier plea deal made by Escamilla. Because Escamilla stole more than $200,000 worth of goods, Texas law considers the crime to be a first-degree felony and allows for sentencing of up to 99 years in prison. It
so he got off easy.
Yeah. It also allows for a more severe punishment if the defendant commits a crime while acting as a public servant.
What about the fries?
Escamilla's attorney, Gustavo Elizondo, did not read. Do you remember when people in Texas were named like Hank Johnson, Chuck,
George.
Billy Bob?
Smoking their Laramies.
Did not return a request from NBC News for comment. So, good job, Texas. Let me write that down so I remember from my records. It was Texas. I think Florida.
That's like just recently on Live PD. You watch Live PD?
Love that
I
show.
I want to. I need to.
Show's fantastic.
Dude,
They
it
pulled
is
over
awesome.
They pulled over a woman who had about $3,000 worth of stolen meat from various supermarkets. Like these just T-bone steaks, skirt steaks, all these different steaks.
Butcher Box.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the one where the guy was completely drunk and he thought the camera was a laser, and he's going, "Get that laser out of my face, you alien! Get that laser out of
Oh, my God.
he was
No.
he was whacked.
Did you see the one when the girl stole the porn and was watching the porn?
No, that's a good
so
one.
So live PD is what it's live. I mean, it's probably a tape delay of
It's
like a few,
it's like a
maybe
10
a couple
second.
minutes.
It's a 10-second delay from what I
It
heard.
is live,
really?
right?
Yeah, it's like a
live.
10 sec-
I thought maybe a couple minutes. Cause,
No,
the way
in case God forbid somebody gets killed, they're not going to put it on live
because
television.
the other day they had like a stakeout.
Because people made fun of me for saying it's live. It's live, actual. Like they just
Yes, they have a couple of them. They have live PD. They have live border PD, which is Border Patrol, and then they have live. I think it's like cam.
That one's going to get busy soon.
Cam, like
the body cams.
body
Yeah.
cam.
Yeah.
So,
But live PD is like the go-to. That's
So
the one.
how do they
I
make it
think
interesting?
It's on,
How do they?
It's on now.
because it's live. People actually will tweet the show.
Yes.
They'll be like, "I just saw that car."
Or not even that.
down this block or
the
something.
first week we started watching it. There was a some guy. This lady cop ripped this guy out of a car, and she had him laying on the ground. And he literally went like this. He put his hand in his pocket and threw something under the car. People started tweeting it because the cameraman caught it. And they're like, he threw something under the car. And they contacted the cops on scene. And she went like this with the flashlight. She went under the car, and they found the drugs under the car.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
it was sick.
So
It was sick.
I love when they stick the canine unit on anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Who's it? Shep
Shep,
is
yeah.
the dog. So anyway,
I think that's the
they
dog.
had this one where this girl was caught on camera stealing pornography from a video store. So they go to her house, they enter the house, and they arrest her. She's in the middle of watching the porn. So
I didn't steal no porn. This is my porn.
She's clothed, and she's just like, "All right, let's just you're arresting me." I
Man,
did
what is
I
that
did."
buzzing noise?
No. I'm talking about like you can hear it and see it.
Right, they had to pixelate it, right?
No, it wasn't pixelated because again, it was that short delay. But first, it's like the dialogue part, the part that you skip over, and then all of a sudden, you start hearing like the moaning and the groaning, and and all of a sudden the cop is just like looks at the TV and goes, "Can we mute that, please?"
Oh my god.
Because I'm sure the producers were going nuts.
Oh, they must have been loving it. I would have been. I mean, that's easy. Easy.
I love when the producers
ratings.
go and you see you got all these cops, burly cops, and even some of the and I don't mean in a bad way, but like the small female cops. I mean, they'll kick the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But then you see like the producer of the show like running behind the cops. You're like, can we bring our cameras in while you're getting arrested? Because they have to ask you if to go into a house.
Right, yeah.
Hysterical sometimes.
And then sometimes, very rarely, I get very
And
rarely.
you see the producer on TV.
Every once in a while, you'd be like, we're from Live PD, but everyone knows the show now. So you'll get people be like, they're talking to the cop. All of a sudden, they're like, am I on Live PD? Am I on Live PD? Hey, Ma. Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
I think what channel is it?
It's
It's
A&E.
A&E, Arts and
Yeah.
Entertainment. Yeah, so
No, A&E.
A&E, Arts and Entertainment. That's what it was originally when I was when
But
cable
yeah, you gotta
first
check.
came out.
It's
I gotta
so
watch it.
addicting.
It is good. I'm
Such
trying
was
to.
also one time when I was in Florida for my cousin's wedding. We were down there and we're watching Live PD. It was near the end of the night. My cousin was over, and there was somewhere in Florida. I forgot where. My cousin goes, "Oh yeah, it's like 20 minutes from here."
Wow.
It's like, okay, we're gonna be on TV soon.
Yay, TV.
I'm currently watching True Detective. Trying to.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
watch that.
I haven't watched that yet. I mean, I watched seasons 1 and 2.
I didn't see seasons 1.
Season 1 was great. Season 2 was. Season 1 was a 10 out of 10. Season 2 was probably 6 out of 10. So that's that. I think that I had another article, but it's
Sure?
way too long.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's way too
All right,
long.
we'll use it for next time.
Yeah, yeah, I'll save it.
So.
But Brian, I want to thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Yes.
You
Very
did a
fun.
great
This was fun.
job. We had a lot of fun, and we welcome you
Thank
back
you.
anytime. We'll definitely we'll put some links up to Project 9 Line. Anything you want to any Project 9 Line events coming up that you want to plug.
Not currently. I have a board meeting next week, and we're going to figure out for the schedule for.
That's a private
2019.
event, so no one show the fuck up.
Right, yeah, no, we show. But once you have the information for the comedy workshop, let us
Yes.
know. We'll throw it on our
Absolutely.
Instagram and our Facebook page and everything. And that's it. Thank you for coming. I appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was a great time. You
Good.
guys are fun. This is
I'm
a
glad you
funny-
like. See, we kept the chair and bar stool talk down to a minimum. So
Yeah.
even though Brian literally insulted both of us on our own show,
Well,
but
Yeah,
it,
you know,
it
so.
happens. Sometimes it happens.
that's a good guest.
Definitely check out project9line.org. That's project the number 9line.org. And of course, with the podcast here, email us thebetterhalf@gmail.com. Excuse me, thebetterhalfpod@gmail.com. I don't normally do this part, but I'm taking it over. Hit us on the Twitter.
You say I talk too much, so I'm letting you do it.
You do. At BetterHalfPod1. Instagram at The Better Half Pod. Frank, where can we find you on social media?
Hold on, I got to get my paper because I'm old and I forget things. You know it. Okay. You can find me on my the Twitter at at mess411.
If you step over any bricks, that's the fourth wall that's constantly being destroyed here by Frank.
You with your fourth wall.
And you can follow me pretty much anywhere at More365, MOHR365. And, of course, check out the other shows here on the More of the Same family podcasts. The Retro Gamers podcast every Tuesday and the Yin and the Yang podcast every Friday. But, of course, the Better Half podcast every other Tuesday, every other Wednesday. And as we announced last week, or at least at the last live episode, every 2 months, I guess it comes out.
Every fourth episode.
Every fourth episode, we will be live.
This is episode 42, so episode 45 will be our next live episode.
Yep, so check us out on Facebook at, just search for the Better Half Podcast.
Yeah, and if you do
us.
follow any of us on our personal Twitters, give us a little hashtag, the Better Half. That way we could, we know. And always, of course, please like, follow, share, all on every platform, especially iTunes. Those 5-star ratings help big time. They'll bring us up the charts, and we can get some people looking at us and make for a better show. So, well, I'd like to, before we retire, I'd like to actually make $1. That'd be nice.
Technically, we did.
Technically, we were still in the hole.
Yeah,
so, a couple more years of this, and my wife's going to put me in a hole. So
I've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah, I know. Well, you don't have anyone to answer to. I do.
This is true.
So
I am my own boss.
But again, thank you, faithful listeners, for listening. Brian, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to plug any of your personal social media or just Project 9line?
Facebook, Instagram, Facebook.com/Brian Cutaia. Instagram, just search Brian Cutaia, BrianCutaia.
And he's a very I've seen some of your stand up. You're pretty damn funny. You're a little racy. I like it.
Yeah, I try.
So maybe next time when we're actually a big, rich, and famous podcast, we'll have you come do a set.
Sounds good.
Give us a solid 8 minutes. And then we'll flash the lights on and off when it's time for you to,
I appreciate it. It'll be like
Headline
a
it,
comedy
Trump
club
again.
with you two people.
But again, Brian,
we get guests down here. We get an audience.
I'm gonna get a little refrigerator right there, like a little green room.
If Bree comes with a gift for me, then I'll do
You're not getting. No one else is getting gifts. I hate
She
to tell
makes
you.
a wicked cake, man. That
She made us a cake for our 1 year
That was
anniversary.
amazing.
With our logo on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
but again, the gifts I received were from me delivering
Well, I
her
know
mail
so much
every
about
day
her.
in all sorts
she
of
collects
weather.
mail. I know so much about her. All right.
She doesn't collect mail. She just gets mail like every normal person.
We love you, Brie.
This is true. And with that, thank you, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.